Do you feel fulfilled in love? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. Do you always end up dating the wrong type of guys over and over again? Isn't it exhausting to get excited about the possibilities only to realize down the line exactly why he's still single? We're going to stop this cycle from continuing to happen to you anymore, which is exactly why on today's show, we're going to be discussing the 5 things you must look out for. Because if he does this, you better not date him. That way, you can prevent yourself from making the mistake of investing yourself in a man who you're only going to realize down the line is not at all what you're looking for. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome, all you beautiful souls. How are you doing today? It's so great to see you. Okay. How are you guys doing? Who we got in the chat here? We got Nikki here. We got Miss Malik here. We got Goose here, Millie here, Scotty here, Toka here, Kayla here, Marie here, Mari here. Who else we got? Let me scroll up. Is SH or Sarisa? I do see SH here. And I don't know if Sharice is here. I don't think Sharice is here, but welcome and shout out to SH for holding down our TikTok chat. Who we got in our YouTube chat today? We got Beatrice is here. We got Carmen is here. Irina is here. Tracy Niles is here. She always here right on time. One of the first people here. Of course, we got Venom is here as well. We got Mary who's here. Nikisha. We got Kayla. We got Coco. We got Cashley, of course. And much, much more. And of course, we got the most amazing Missy America joining us again today. Oh, let me shout out our YouTube member as well. Nicole, who is here, and BB as well. Well, shout out to all of you and those of you, especially who are YouTube channel members, okay? And of course, we have Missy America holding down our YouTube chat. So it's almost so amazing to see all of you. All right. And especially Missy America. Okay. We're glad you're feeling better. All right. So let's hop into our show for today because it's very important that you understand the qualities you're not looking for. Because I know, because we have lots of chats all the time, 24/7. We're here like every day together. Okay. I love it. And this is the thing. A lot of you guys are seeing the same qualities in the same men because you're meeting them in the same type of environments, i.e. dating apps, which is why I want to discuss these qualities so that you're not confused or so that you don't have to make the mistake that other members of the Players Club maybe have made in the past, and you can avoid making that mistake because you already know that's a quality you don't want to be looking out for. So I say this to say, all of these things I'm going to mention here, if you notice this in a man either you're dating now or a man that you eventually start dating, don't even bother yourself continuing to date this man because you're just going to be wasting your time, I can assure you, okay? So first things first, on things you should be looking out for is because you're going to know you're not going to be dating him. First things first is going to be endless chit chat. Now, those of you who have been around me for long enough know how I feel about endless chit chat. And when I say endless chit chat, I mean chit chat that goes absolutely nowhere. You are not going, listen to me. You are not going to date a textaholic. I don't care how good it feels. I don't care how fun it is. I don't care how how much attention you feel like you're getting when you date a textaholic that can text you, every minute of every day, every second of every day. I don't care. You're not dating those men. And even more than that, if you notice that the man that you're talking to is someone who likes to have endless chit chat, you better be avoiding those men like the plague. Why? Because the men that want to have endless chit chat with you are usually having endless chit chat with you because they have no plans of actually seeing you. And see, here is the mistake that some of you are making when you're dating and trying to meet new guys, is that you start having endless chit chat with the guy thinking that somehow this is going to lead to something serious and you guys actually going out on a date. So you have endless chit chat with him for the first day. Right? So let's say you download Hinge, you're swiping on Hinge, you like a guy on Hinge, you're messaging him for a little bit. Now you're all excited that you match with the guy that you think is attractive on Hinge. You add each other on Instagram. You add each other on Snapchat. You guys are messaging day one. You're all excited because he messaged you back really fast. You're messaging day two. Oh, now you're still excited. Everything's happening and you feel like this is really going somewhere. Day three, maybe you guys get on a call or a FaceTime or something like that, and you guys are chit-chatting some more. Then day five, more texting. Day 6, more texting. Next week, still texting, maybe a call or two. Next month. And now all of a sudden, you've invested weeks of your time into a guy who's just going to sit there and chit chat with you and talk to you about his day and ask you about your day, but never actually say, hey, Missy, right? I want to actually take you out on a date so that we can start building a relationship here, okay? Chit chat in itself is not a crime. But what you want to be looking out for is guys that just want company. Because make no mistake about it. You know how we talk about attention and you don't want attention to be something that controls you and things like that, and validation to control you. Guys also like attention. Guys also like validation, and guys are very good at going out and seeking the easiest places to get attention from women and get validation from them, because they are also of the mind frame that if they can go on a dating app and they can swipe endlessly on a whole bunch of girls and have endless chit chat with them, they feel like they're actually doing something. And see, this is where what we call in the Players Club the microwave men come into place, because the microwave men want things quick and easy. They also are a lot of times looking for what we call cheap thrills. What I mean by cheap thrills is they don't actually want to do the work of going out, even going out to the club and getting dressed, doing their hair, getting a haircut, shaving, looking presentable, being charismatic, meeting girls, talking to them. And they get to flirt with girls by actually getting up out of their bed, wiping the nut stains off of their pants and looking nice and getting to talk to girls in real life. They don't even want to do that, but they still want to feel the attention from girls and feel like they're doing something. So they hop on the dating app, they swipe right on a whole bunch of girls, and one of these days we'll talk about the secret society that is dating apps from the man's perspective. Maybe that might be next week, because I really want to show you some nasty stuff that guys are doing on dating apps. I know that because I've watched these videos, okay? Because they'll swipe right on every single girl, just trying to get quantity there. Then when they meet you or they finally match with you after they've matched with 200 other people, they'll just endlessly chit chat with you because they don't have real intention of dating anyone on these apps. And a lot of the guys that are on dating apps, they just want attention, or they want cheap thrills in the form of endless chit chat, or in the form of, hey, you can come over to my place, we'll watch Netflix, and I'll jackrabbit myself inside of you for 90 seconds or less. Okay? And you have to be understanding and very aware of whether or not you're spending your time or investing your time in a guy who's just endlessly going to have chit chat with you. In this here category, we're also going to lump in what I call pen pals. So those of you who have been with me in this show for some time know what we call pen pals. We have a lot of code words and, inside talk here. So if you're new here, you probably don't know some of these terminologies. So what we describe as pen pals in the Players Club are guys that you will message that may or may not live close to you. A lot of times they live farther away from you. They're a long distance from you, but even sometimes they might live close to you. But all they want to do is text you, call you, and maybe FaceTime you every now and again. But it never actually, culminates into you guys spending real, genuine, quality time in person. And at the end of the day, you can't build a relationship with someone just by calling and texting them 24/7. Even if that guy is long distance with you, there still has to be intention of, hey, we're long distance, we're chatting on this phone, but we're not chatting on this phone just till our ears bleed. We're chatting on this phone because eventually we're going to build ourselves up to being in a long-term serious relationship. And when we eventually, start building in this long-term relationship, we're going to be seeing each other in person. We're going to be going out on dates. We're going to be spending time around each other. And the chit chat over the phone is just going to be a way to kind of hold us together and supplement the fact that we can't see each other every single day. Okay. So what I want you to get very good at identifying is the guys that just endlessly want to chit chat with you. See, I know because I spend a lot of time with all of you and I answer all your private questions as well. I also know that some of you get into this pattern, and this is what I want you paying attention to. Okay. This is the part that I want you paying attention to. Some of you get into this pattern with guys where you might chit chat majority of the time and see this guy one time in a month. I'm going to let you in on a secret, okay? If you notice that you're in a pattern where a guy will endlessly chit chat with you, then he'll probably, fizzle out for a little bit. He won't message you for a bit. And then all of a sudden he'll reach back out to you after like a couple of weeks, 4 weeks. He'll message you like, hey, can I see you today? Then you see him, you sleep with him. He might chit chat with you for a couple of days. After that, it fizzles out again. And you're noticing this cycle of chit chat for a couple of days, right? And then it fizzles out. Then he talks to you again. He sleeps with you, chit chat for a couple of days, fizzles out, talks to you, and it just goes round and round and round and round and round. It's the same thing as endless chit chat, because what's happening is you're not actually going anywhere. The chit chat or the small talk is just a way to supplement the fact that he doesn't want to come out and say, hey, I'm really just messaging you to see if I can stick my hard pee-pee inside your Squirtle and jackrabbit myself inside of you. So do you have like 45? Really, I only need a minute and a half, but we're going to chit chat and small talk like we're really here for anything else. And so do you have like 45 minutes, a minute and a half of, me jackrabbiting inside of you. And then the rest of the 43 minutes, we can spend that time just chit chatting, pretending like I actually like you. Okay. It's the same thing. Don't waste your time when you start seeing, because this is the thing. When you start acknowledging this and noticing this and noticing it happening, you get very good at not wasting your time. Because I can assure you, these type of things will become obvious to you from the very beginning. When you get good at analyzing information and reading men and observing them, you'll get very good at realizing, oh, no, you're not even approaching me to actually date me. You're just approaching me to just waste time here, okay? And it's not that you have to be super impatient when you date people, but it's very healthy and good for you as a woman to be able to recognize within the men that you're spending your time with, do you have real intention here? Are you really interested? Are you really trying to pursue here? Or do you just want to sit back, relax, and just see where things go? That's going to waste your time. At the end of the day, it's always going to waste your time to sit back, relax, and see where things go. It's always going to be a waste of your time to just be like, oh, I don't want to put too much pressure on this, or waste of your time. Okay? You want to be adopting this mindset. And I actually seen this. Oh my gosh. I forget the name of the person. I seen it on YouTube. Shout out to you. I want to go back and maybe if I can find your quote there to credit you. I think it was Lil Ningo or something like that was her YouTube name. And she said, oh, the acronym is LAURA. So that's the acronym we're going to go by in our Players Club, LAURA, which is what I want you doing in your dating life. LAURA stands for to listen, observe, receive, and analyze. Okay, so that's LAURA for you. That is what I want you doing on all of your dates. Super, super important, because that's going to be the key to getting everything, all the information that you need to make good decisions. Okay, right. So endless chit chat was number one. We'll talk about LAURA in depth in another stream. Okay, so endless chit chat is number one. Number two is what I describe as being an actionless hero. One thing you're going to notice, and that actually kind of goes in line with the endless chit chat, because a lot of the endless chit chat guys are actionless heroes. Anytime you're dating a guy and you get the sense after a while that he makes these really big promises, oh, me and you, we're going to go to Disney World. Oh my gosh, I know I live halfway across the world, but I promise you, I'm gonna get an Airbnb. Me and you are gonna spend a week together in this Airbnb, and I promise you, I'm gonna come see you. We're gonna spend so much time together. We're gonna cuddle so close. Oh my God, I'm gonna eat you, and I'm literally gonna put you inside my stomach, and you're gonna live in my stomach, and we're gonna be so close. We're gonna cuddle for so long, and I'm literally about to buy this Airbnb. Oh my gosh, I'm basically gonna move to your city. Can you believe that? I'm looking at jobs in your city. I might move to your city. Can you believe that? I'm going to get a job and I'm actually going to live right next to you. In fact, I'm going to live in your basement. Can you believe that? I'll live in your room. These actionless heroes are going to make you promises on promises on promises of things that are about to come in your relationship. Okay? What's going to end up happening is nothing. Okay? Every time he gives you a new promise to get excited about, that you look forward to, that you're holding out hope for, all of that hope and excitement is only going to carry you up until the next disappointment. And then right when you become so disappointed that you're ready to walk away, he's then going to come back with a new promise that's going to get you excited again. And he's going to explain away all the disappointments you have for all the promises that have been unkept. Something very important to take note of, because these actionless heroes, not only do they promise big things and never come through with them when it comes to actually like dating you or seeing you or spending time with you, but also they make a lot of promises to you as it relates to the relationship and where they want this to go. Oh, I really want to date you, but I just don't have enough money right now. I didn't know that it cost money to ask someone to be their girlfriend. I didn't know that that actually cost money. I didn't know that. Oh, I really want to date you, but, I'm just really stressed at work. What does being stressed at work have to do with committing yourself to someone else? All of these excuses, right? And all of these, I'm going to do this. Once I figure out, my job situation, we'll be boyfriend and girlfriend. Once I figure out my money situation, we'll be boyfriend and girlfriend. Once I figure out my toes are really messed up and, I got to get a manicure, okay, and a pedicure. I got to get both. Everything's so nasty down there. Once I fix my toes up, then we can be boyfriend and girl. They just give you all these like promises of like, hey, just once I do this thing, we're about to date. We're going to take the next step and get serious once I do this one thing. But what's so funny about that? He never does the thing. And so your relationship never ends up going to the next level. And so you're always stagnant and you're always in the same place 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 months from now, 4 months from now. And so he becomes an actionless hero where all the things, and the reason I call it actionless hero is because it sounds so heroic, the way he talks about saving your life and doing this for you and doing that with you and you guys going away to a land far, far away and sweeping you off on a white horse and all this amazing stuff that sounds so great, and it gets you wet and it gets you lubricated and it gets you excited, and nothing ever happens. And so much like endless chit chat, you waste so much time waiting for any of those things to come to fruition. And so I say that to say, notice when a guy is a promiseaholic, right? Promising you, and an actionless hero, promising you all of these big things and nothing ever comes to fruition. Take notice of that, because not only will that's him, and that's going to be representative of the rest of your relationship, but it's also going to be a great way when you easily identify this to stop and prevent yourself from wasting time with the guy that you're going to go nowhere with fast. Because, having direction is not just saying, yeah, I want to date you one day eventually. It's also about, having a plan and a course of action towards that. But then, like we all talk about, actions speak louder than words, taking action towards that. Okay, so we're going to talk about action in two senses here, and why, because action is so important and something that you need to be analyzing when you're dating guys. But I want you paying very close attention to guys if they're actionless heroes that just, talk to you and promise you big things and never actually do that. Okay, Goose says, why do they do that? Well, they could be being an actionless hero for multiple reasons. They could be doing that so that in the process of them promising you big things, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to act on the relationship as if those big things are already happening. So the example that I love to give on why men do stuff like this is this is a great example. If I were to, let's say you have whatever amount of money is in your bank account, let's say $1,000 or whatever, okay? Let's say $2,000, enough for you to live for the month comfortably and, do things that you want to do, okay? There's $2,000 left over in your bank account after you pay all your bills, and you can have some fun and enjoy yourself. Now, you have $2,000 in your bank account. But if I came to you and told you, hey, I got a little secret for you. I actually got a lottery ticket, and if you just do this thing for me, I can't cash it in because I did it a little, sneaky way through a back door. You cash in the lottery ticket, you're going to get 500,000 and I'm going to get 500,000. It's a win-win for both of us. You cash in that lottery ticket and literally next month, you're going to have $500,000 sitting in your bank account. Okay. And you're going to say to yourself, oh, great. I got, $500,000 coming to me in a month. So what are you going to look at that $2,000 and do with that $2,000? You're going to say, who cares if I spend this $2,000 this month? I don't need to save anything. I've got $500,000 coming to me literally next month. And so you're going to be a lot more carefree with the $2,000 that's actually sitting in your bank account because you're of the belief that $500,000 is already yours. I've promised you that this $500,000 is going to be in your bank account by next month, and you really believe that. So because you really believe that, you're going to use up this $2,000 as if you already have the $500K. And so I say that to say, if the time comes for you to cash out on that $500K and get that $500K deposited into your bank account, and that $500K is not there, what happens now? Because you spent all the $2,000 that was in your bank account thinking that the $500K was yours already. And so you actually acted, right? You're in your current life at that current moment, you acted in the present based on what you anticipated happening in the future. And so the same thing happens in your relationships with guys. See, if they can promise you something big in the future, they know, and they're smart, they know you'll begin acting on what they have promised you in the future, but you'll start acting on it now in the present. Meaning, if he can promise you all this, we're going to date, we're going to be together, we're going to do this, we're going to get married and blah, 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 before he has ever even committed himself to you whatsoever, or before you guys have even went on one date. By the time you go out on that first date, you're already, in your mind, you guys are already married. In your mind, you guys are already about to have children. In your mind, you guys are already, have been in a relationship for 50 years. And so when you go on that very first date, you're thinking, oh, like we're already going to be together for so long. So what happens now? If I sleep with you, it's not that big a deal. We're already building together. We're already in this long-term relationship. We're already taking this so seriously. We're already so far along than any other relationship that anyone has ever been into. And we already have this deep, strong emotional bond. And so you trick yourself into acting on the present for a promise that is in the future. But the reality of it is, just because it's in the future, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen, because things can change in an instant. And so you act on your $2,000 in your bank account based on the fact that you are of the belief that $500,000 is coming to you next month. Okay. But the reality of it is you can't guarantee that that $500,000 is actually going to come, especially for these men that you're going out on dates with that you don't really know, because that's the confusing part. It's really exciting to go out on a date with a new guy. It's really exciting to spend some time with the new guy. But in reality, the new guy that you're spending time with that you haven't met and you don't know from a can of paint is a stranger. And so there is a process to getting to know what this stranger's intentions even are with you before you start trusting him or believing in all of the promises that he's going to give to you. Okay. Irina says already married in La La Land. Precisely. And we don't want that for you. Does that make sense to you guys so far? Are you guys following me? Okay. You guys love the water drinking. You guys are funny. So number one was endless chit chat. Number two is being an actionless hero. We don't want you being we don't want you dating or spending your time on an actionless hero. Excuse me. And so number three, is stop pooping time. Okay. I want you guys paying real close attention to this one for number three. Please stop pooping. Take your hand out of your pants. Pay attention to what I'm saying here. It's actually very important. We have not really talked about this on the show, so I want to make sure that all of you, whether you've been here for a long time or a short time, are listening to this part. Number three is what I describe as influenced attention. You're not going to like this. I love you and I care about you, but I have to be real with you in order for me to actually help you. You need to understand not all attention is created equal. If the man that you like or you think you're building with only seems to give you the most attention either when he's sleeping with you, about to sleep with you, or when he's drunk or under the influence, that is not real attention. Okay? And I want you paying attention to the way that he treats you when he's horned up or when he's drunk or under the influence, whatever his vice is. Because if you're starting to notice a theme and a pattern where the only time he compliments you and is nice to you is when he's drunk or high, or the only time that he compliments you or is nice to you is when he's really horned up, that is not representative of your entire actual relationship with him. And see, the reason that I wanted to bring this up is because you can trick yourself into thinking he's such a nice, amazing guy because he's so nice to me and sweet to me when he's horned up. Or he's so nice to me and sweet to me when he's drunk or he's high. See, a lot of you are in situations where the guy that you like is only willing to call you or FaceTime you when he's drunk at a club, or drunk at a party, or drunk on the street, or drunk at a friend's house. But you're not paying attention to the fact that that's the only time you get the type of attention and treatment that you actually want. The only time he actually makes you feel good or makes you feel desired and wanted is when he's drunk or when he's horned up. But the reality of it is, if he has to be under the influence of either his pee or under the influence of some sort of drug or any sort of substance, that is not representative of the fact that he actually wants you and wants to build with you. Please don't make this mistake, because I know it can be an easy mistake to make. Because guys get so lovey. Oh my God, you're so amazing. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever met. I've never seen anyone like you. Oh my God, your hair is like Rapunzel. Oh my God, you're the best thing since sliced bread. Oh my God, you're just like the most mesmerizing, amazing girl I've ever seen. Your dump truck is like 85,000 the size of anyone ever. Your yiddies are literally bouncing up and down and I can't get enough of it. The compliments are great, but just take notes of when the compliments are happening. Right? Nothing wrong with being affectionate. But if you're noticing a crazy imbalance and a lot of coldness when he's not horned up, or you're noticing a lot of coldness when, he's not drunk or high, that should loop you into a pattern that's going on. Because usually when he's drunk or high, he's probably horned up, which is why he's bothering to call you or bothering to message you or bothering to FaceTime you. So they kind of go hand in hand. But I just don't want you to forget that your relationship is meant to actually represent more and more affection and more intimacy than just when he's horned up or just when he's drunk or under the influence. So if you're noticing this pattern that the guy is always only willing to think about this. I'll lay this out for you as an example. Let's say you're in a situation where the guy that you like, he usually doesn't text you for multiple days. Okay, so you guys might talk for a bit and it fizzles out. He's not really a big texter and he never calls you on regular days during the weekday. But on Saturdays, when he goes out with the boys, all of a sudden, at 2:30 a.m. when he's leaving the club off that Casamigos, off that 1942, off that hen dog, he can call you. Or he knows how to FaceTime you. Or he knows how to blow up your phone and text you then. I know it sounds silly, but I want you taking notice of this because, see, you might not be drunk or you might not be under the influence when he messages you or calls you at these times. So you might be thinking to yourself, oh, like this is just him showing me attention because he really likes me and he really wants me. No, it's him showing you attention because he's horned up and his pee has so much blood flow going to it, he can barely even type on the screen. And I want you to understand that. That way you can differentiate the difference between a guy showing you. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with the guy being attracted to you. But when there's a large imbalance like that of the way that he treats you or approaches you or talks to you when he's horned up or under the influence, and the way that he talks to you or approaches you or treats you when he's completely sober and it's a regular Tuesday afternoon, take note of that. And do not date those type of guys because that is a indirect understanding. That should show you, remember, you're observing and you're analyzing. That should show you that what you're really here for and what my value really is to you is something for you to jackrabbit yourself inside of. And if it isn't for the fact that you're horned up or you're under the influence, you don't seem to remember me or care about anything that's going on with me or my life. It's quite convenient that when you're drunk or when you're horned up, you now are all of a sudden, hit with this wave of emotion that takes you over, that now you remember me and you remember that you want to speak to me and you remember how badly you want to see me. Never get faked out, because it is like a fake out. Never get faked out by guys who will make you feel like, oh my God, this wave of emotion hit them. In the moment that they, were off that hen dog, now they realize how much they want to see you. Now they realize how much they want to spend time with you. Or in the moment that they're just horned up in general and they haven't gotten any in a while, and the hub is not doing it for them and they want something real life to put themselves inside. Now all of a sudden they remember you. Now all of a sudden they remember how amazing you are. And this is the really funny thing. This is the really funny thing that I want you to take notice of. And this is why I called it Stop Pooping Time. The really funny thing about influenced attention is guys can't even sustain this. And this is where I want you to take notice of this. So for those of you who have ever experienced this, this is what the pattern will essentially be. A guy will hit you up. He'll talk to you, oh, how you been, da, da, da. He'll make it seem as if, oh, I really care about how you've been doing and I really want to see how you are and catch up with you. In the process of telling you essentially that he wants to catch up with you, he'll essentially tell you that he wants to see you either today or tomorrow, right? Very, very soon, right? In between him texting you. Now what's going to happen is you're all excited because he's showing you some attention. So you're thinking, oh my God, you probably really like me now and you really want to see me now. Let's hang out. Let's spend some time together. You spend some time with him. He jackrabbits himself inside of you. Okay, good. Now you feel good. Now you feel all amazing about this. He's like, okay, great. That was awesome. We chit chat, right? You guys might even have a good conversation. He goes home. Maybe you guys chit chat for a couple more days and then it fizzles out. Fizzles out meaning that he just stops messaging you randomly. He doesn't really talk to you for a couple of days. And now there's a process of days or sometimes weeks that goes by where he doesn't message you at all. Not one blip. And even when you do message him, he's not really messaging you back. And he doesn't message you back for a couple of weeks until finally he messages you again. And then the process happens all over again, where he asks you to catch up and he just wants to see how you've been and things like that. Oh, I miss you. I was wondering how you're doing and blah, 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 blah. And that is the problem. Because you're going to find yourself in this cycle where you're just going on a hamster wheel. And the reason I wanted to describe to you this cycle is because this is an example of how guys have to, I know this sounds weird, they build up their horned upness. It sounds really strange. They build up that horned upness. It's like a tank. And it's like a tank that has to get filled up over the course of days. It can't just get filled up instantly. So when he sleeps with you, it drains that tank. Then he doesn't want to speak to you for the next couple of days until that tank fills back up. His horned up level is back where it needs to be for you at least. And then he messages you again and says, hey, now I want to see you again, which is why this cycle goes of him being horned up. He messages you. Then he stops talking to you for a couple of days because the tank is depleted after he sleeps with you. And then it builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up until now he says, okay, yeah, I'm ready to be with you again. But that is a perfect example. A guy's tank only depletes and has to build up like that when his only focus with you is within pineapple pleasure. Okay? Because pineapple pleasure is going to be depleted anytime he gets it from you. And it's going to make him say, okay, great, I got that pineapple pleasure. I'm good for about a week. Off of her, at least. So now, not until 1 week or 2 weeks later, but when my tank is filled back up to the top, then I will need some more pineapple pleasure from her. So what I say that to say, not to, Jacquelita said this is so depressing. I say that not to make you depressed, but I just say that to help you like see the pattern when it's happening. Because I know that some of you in that situation are thinking to yourself, oh, maybe he's just been busy for that whole week, which is why he hasn't messaged me, but now he genuinely just wants to catch up and see me again. You see the guy, you spend some time with him, you have a good chat with him, you sleep with him, of course, and then it fizzles out again. But you constantly, instead of realizing what's going on, you're constantly just stuck in this cycle thinking that the reason he's not talking to you is because he just has some stuff to do or whatever it may be, but you accept every time that he comes back because his tank is full again. Okay? And so Natalie says he's got to be on every day or he's not that serious. Exactly. You want guys that can be consistent with you. And especially, even if they're not going to be texting you every day, there is still intention in building with you. So I want you guys to understand, even if he's not texting you 24/7 all times of the day, he can still be saying, hey, I want to see you later this week. Let's plan for seeing each other later this week. That is still consistency. But what's not consistency is not having a plan that he's going to see you or spend time with you, not setting any plan in place, not speaking to you. You're confused. You don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden, after 2 weeks, he messages you as if nothing has happened or anything has transpired, right? No accountability and no sort of reliability. When you feel deep down in your heart, I don't even think I can rely on you to know where we're going next, then you know you're probably in one of these situations, which is influenced attention, right? When he's horned up or when he's under the influence of a drug or a substance, that's all of a sudden the time where he can give you the most attention. Anytime outside of that, he doesn't seem to really care about what's going on with you whatsoever, okay? We don't want that for you. Does that make sense to you guys so far? Jay said my exact situation. I'm glad if some of you are realizing that this might be your situation. It's good. It's not a bad thing. It's good that you're realizing that, because now you can start making decisions on how to eliminate dead weight from your life. Okay. So number 1, endless chit chat. Number 2, the actionless hero. Number 3, influence attention. Number 4 is also a painful one for you and me, but I want us to discuss it. Okay. Number 4 is what I call complaining without change. This one grinds my gears. This one's probably going to make me more mad than it's going to make you mad. See, when you're with a guy that complains without change, you can't do anything with him. You can't do anything. The reason why is because if he's going to complain about a situation, and I specifically mean complain about a situation as it relates to you and his relationship and why he can't do this or why he can't do that or why he can't be this for you or be that for you, but he's not going to come up with a course of action or a plan to change that, you're going to be in the exact same spot 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. I'm going to give you an example of exactly what I mean by complain without change. Let's say, for the sake of example, you and a guy are in a long distance relationship. And in the process of your long distance relationship, let's say you guys, you live in Europe and he lives in Miami. I don't know why you'd be dating a guy that lives in Miami, but let's just say he lives in Miami and you live in Europe. Now, a plane ticket from Miami to Europe costs, let's just say, $2,000. And he's like, oh, you know what? I wish I could see you more, but I just don't really, at work, I'm not really making enough money and I'm struggling at work and I don't have the funds to be able to spend $2,000 on a plane trip from Miami all the way to Europe. And I just wish I could, but I can't really do that right now. And, I wish I had the funds, but I guess I can't really see you. Okay, great. That's a problem, right? There is a solution for that, but that's a problem. Now, if in the process of him complaining about the fact that he doesn't have enough money so he can't come see you across the world and book that plane ticket to spend time with you, if in that time, every time you're FaceTiming him or calling him or asking him what he's doing, he's like, oh, I'm just playing Xbox. Yeah, I'm just chilling, I just finished, I was just with the boys, and we decided to hop on PlayStation. We're playing PlayStation. We're playing a little Call of Duty. Yeah. NBA 2K. Yeah. Madden. Yeah. How is his situation supposed to change? If he's having money issues, and these money issues are affecting his ability to build a relationship with you, but he's not spending his spare time trying to figure out or solve his money issues, how are you ever supposed to be in a different situation? Do you see how that doesn't make sense? Sometimes when you're not thinking about it deeply, on a really deep level, you can just pass it over and not really think much of it. But I want you, now that we're talking about this here in the Players Club, I want you to see how little that makes sense. So if a guy is ever telling you, oh, I can't, date you because of my situation with money, or I can't date you because of my situation with this, or I can't do this for you because of my situation with that, Because guys love to do that. Blame the circumstances or reasons they can't be a good partner on something else external outside of them. Great, that's fine. Sometimes not everything is going to be your fault or something you can control. But at the end of the day, if you have no plan to at least try to see a different result and you're just going to keep doing the same thing you've been doing, well, nothing is going to change. Nothing's going to change. Precisely why I always want you all to be dating, men who have direction and know how to solve problems. Because I told you I was going to get mad. One of the worst mistakes you can make is dating a guy who doesn't know how to solve even his own problems and isn't solution oriented. Because at the end of the day, there will always be issues when it comes to relationships, and you'll never have perfection in your life or in your relationship. And if your man doesn't know how to fight through and get through adversity in his own life or in your relationship with him, you will always be stuck in a limbo state where you have no idea where things are going, because you don't want to leave because you feel like, oh, it would be wrong of me to just abandon him and leave because, he's going through some struggles. But at the same time, if you stay the entire time, you're only going to be frustrated the entire time. So, for example, if you're in that situation where you're in Europe and you're dating a guy who lives in Miami and he's telling you he doesn't have the money to come see you or buy a plane ticket to come see you, and so you spend the entire year chit-chatting with him over the phone and you never once see him in person that entire year, what are you going to do then? How is that sustainable? And that entire year where he didn't have money to come see you, he spent all the excess time he had playing video games, playing Xbox, playing PlayStation, playing NBA 2K, instead of actually getting off of his butt and going and doing something that'll make him some money so that he can come see you. What are you supposed to do then? Because you're feeling bad for breaking up with him because you're like, oh my God, I don't want to break up with you because you have no money. And I don't want to break up with you because you're in a tough spot, because we all go through things. But at the same time, if you have no plan or course of action to try to actually solve your situation, 1 year from now, you're still going to have money problems that don't allow you to book a flight to come see me. 2 years from now, you're still going to have those same problems. 3 years from now, you're still going to have those same problems. So at what point do those problems just become his problems and no longer your problems? Because what are you supposed to do? Sit back, relax, and, close yourself off to the possibility of meeting other amazing people that figured out their life and figure out what they want to do. And this man is just still fumbling and stumbling through life with no direction and no plan or course of action? It doesn't make sense for you, and it's a waste of time for you. Not that you have to date men who are already multimillionaires and billionaires and things like that. Of course you can date men who have a lot of promise and a lot of potential and are actually going somewhere. But understand the difference between a man who's actually going somewhere with direction, that knows how to get to where he wants to go or is at least trying to, and a man who's just going to complain, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. And then as soon as they finish complaining, they're back on the game, playing PlayStation. Or they're back going out and getting drunk with their boys at the club, wasting money, spending it on bottles and spending it on $20 drinks. Because newsflash, if a man is telling you that he doesn't have money and he's going to the club and spending $20 on a drink with one shot in it, he's lost. You can't do nothing with him. I really mean that. You can't. Don't waste your time. Don't try to change him. Don't even try to let him know how stupid the life he's living is. Because those people, they're so far in purgatory, they're so lost, you can't even help them see the light. Okay? You just have to take a step back and run far away from those type of men. Because those type of men are going to waste heaps of your time. They're complaining about their situation and how horrible it is, but they have no intention of actually changing it. They're making no efforts to actually make an adjustment to get to where they want to go. So what's that supposed to do for you? Where does that leave you? That leaves you in purgatory. That leaves you in hell. Literally, you're in hell on earth. You have no idea where this is going, and it doesn't get any better. It just keeps staying worse, and there's no course forward. Horrible. Don't do that. Don't waste your time with those type of men. Please don't waste your time. Okay? So, endless chit chat, number 1, actionless hero, number 2, influence attention, number 4, or number 3, complaining without change, number 5, for number 4. And number 5 is another one that grinds my gears. Number 5 is a man child. Let's have a little conversation here, okay? Nothing wrong with your man liking to enjoy himself, okay? He likes to go out, have a couple drinks, drink some wine, smoke some weed, smoke some hookah, whatever he likes to do, okay? I don't do any of that, but I once used to drink, okay? I don't drink anymore. Nothing wrong with enjoying yourself. Human nature. Here's the thing, though. If you are dating a man that you have to take care of, meaning when you guys go out together, you have to make sure he knows where his wallet and his keys are. You have to make sure that he doesn't get lost. You have to make sure that he doesn't get so drunk that he's fallen over in a ditch somewhere. You have to make sure that he doesn't have vomit on his shirt at the end of the night. You have to make sure that he actually gets back to his apartment safe and sound. You have to make sure that he doesn't get into a fight with a random stranger at the club whenever you guys go, or the bar, or whatever, wherever you guys go. You're dating a man-child. You should never step out of your house with your man and feel like you have to be the one taking care of him. Please don't. Fox Art says, stop. People deal with this 100,000%. And I'm telling you this from a first-person experience of a guy who used to be a club promoter. I live in downtown Toronto, so I used to be a club promoter. Are you following me? And as a club promoter, of course, I'm going to clubs, I'm going to bars, I'm meeting people, I'm seeing all type of stuffs. And even at one point, I would go and not drink. Okay? So I'm seeing the stuff for real. I'm seeing the stuff. And I just say that to say, I want you to understand when I'm going out and I'm seeing all this stuff happening, there's a lot of man-childs out there, right? A lot of guys that their girl is the one taking care of him because either he just can't handle himself, right? Combination not being able to handle alcohol, not knowing his limits, and just not being a man that knows how to like have fun in a controlled way and still take care of his girl. Because going out with your girlfriend is not just doing whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. Because there's someone with me that I'm also responsible for their safety. Of course, you're capable of also protecting yourself to a certain extent. But as a man, if I go out and you're my woman, I have to make sure that you're taken care of. That should be natural to the man that you're dating. But unfortunately, there are a lot of man-childs out there that when you go out with your man, you have to be the one taking care of him. So not only do I want you to, in the process of when you're dating someone, because remember, I told you, you don't really know someone just by going out on a couple of nice dinner dates to Italian restaurants and slurping spaghetti with them on a Saturday night. Okay, that's not really knowing them. I want you to see them in a plethora of different situations. And one of the great situations for you to see them in is to go out somewhere else with them. Okay. Especially if you can go out somewhere else with them and maybe some friends, because that's even more representative of how he's actually going to be. And take notice of if he becomes a man-child that you have to take care of or you have to be responsible for, because once again, that is something completely unsustainable for you as a woman. Why? For multiple reasons. One, you're going to be exhausted, trying to take care of your man, because that's not even something that's supposed to come natural to you in the sense that you're going out and worrying about your man. You're supposed to feel safe with your man because you can't feel safe with your man if you're taking care of him. And then number two, you're going to be so dry in between your legs, it's going to be disgusting. Okay, you're literally going to have to pour water on yourself just to keep yourself lubricated. That's how dry you'll be mentally, physically, and emotionally because you're taking care of your man instead of him taking care of you and helping you with your safety. I'm telling you this from seeing it firsthand. I would watch women on the street have their man's arm, like holding them up. Right? They got the hand around their man's waist and they took the other arm and put it over their shoulder and they're carrying and holding their man up. Their man's like this, throw up on his shirt. Like a zombie. Falling all over himself, falling into the bushes because she can't even hold up his weight. I promise. It's so sad. It's so sad. Okay? I never want you to experience that. But I also want you to become very quick at figuring out if that is that guy. Because unfortunately, some of these guys that you're going to meet on Hinge, while their profile pictures might make it seem like they're all put together because they work in an office building or they're a banker or they're an accountant or something that seems real buttoned up and straightforward, you're going to realize that some of those guys who work in those high places or work in those really buttoned up industries are man-childs. And you can't do anything with those guys. You ain't going to get anywhere with those guys. You're going to waste a lot of your time, energy, and focus on those guys, and nothing is going to come from those relationships except for frustration and a really dry squirtle. Okay? Take note of the man-childs. They will waste a lot of your time, and you can't do nothing with them. Like all of the rest of these things that I said here, you can't do nothing with them if you see those qualities in those guys that you're dating. Okay, so do you guys have any questions about the 5 we just discussed? Endless chit-chat, number 1. Actionless hero, number 2. Influence attention, number 3. Complaining without change, number 4. And a man-child, number 5. Okay, right? Does that make sense? Emma says, not many good guys left. There are good guys, and I don't want you to ever think that there aren't good guys in this world. There are good guys in this world. However, we need to get you good at sifting through all the garbage so that you can find those good guys, okay? Rarika says, can you repeat the 5, please? The 5 are all available on my YouTube page. My YouTube page is just my name, Tomisin Atobatele, on top of my head. On the top right corner of the screen, you go to my YouTube page, just type it in. You can even type in my first name, and I'm live at the same time as I'm live here on TikTok, and you'll be able to rewind it there, okay? So it's always available for you guys there if you ever miss any of the points, okay? Right? Emma says there's none left. There's none of those good guys left. I promise you all, you beautiful people, there are those great, amazing guys still left out there. However, you're going to have to step outside of your house, and you're going to have to go to some places you wouldn't regularly go. Because the reality of it is, let's just be so for real, majority of those really amazing guys don't spend a lot of their times at the clubs or the bars. Majority of those really amazing, awesome guys don't spend their time on dating apps, okay? I just have to be so real with you. You're probably going to have to change your environment in order to find those different guys, okay? All right? Does that make sense? Jamila says in the YouTube chat, where are those good guys? And I see all you guys asking, where do they go? Where do they go? This is what you need to understand. Other people might give you an answer that's, hey, go to the country club, go to the golf car, go to the golf course. The reality of it is, good guys have plenty of different interests and hobbies and passions and things that they like to do. So as, vague and general as it sounds, good guys are literally everywhere. They're at coffee shops. They go to art classes. They go to Zumba classes. They go to Taekwondo. They train karate. They do a whole bunch of stuff, okay? But you just have to understand that good guys are most prevalent in places where a lot of people won't bother going, okay? So if you're spending a lot of time on dating apps and you are seeing that not a lot of people are having success with dating apps, then maybe rethink spending your time there, because that probably tells you most of the good guys aren't on there. But the reality of it is, the good guys do have hobbies and passions, and they like to do stuff and go outside of their house too. So what you should do, rather than thinking to yourself, hey, I just want to go to the place where all the good guys are, I want you to start going to the places that interest you, because in the process of going to the places that interest you, that you can actually have some fun and enjoyment at, will end up meeting someone that actually shares some interest with you. Okay, that I think is way more powerful and important than any other advice on a place I could tell you to go. Because the reality of it is, if you end up going to a place that I tell you to go simply because I say good guys exist there, and you go there and you don't meet an amazing guy the first time you go there, you're going to feel like you wasted a whole bunch of time going there. And you're going to feel like all that time was pointless. And I don't want you going to a place solely just to meet men, because you're going to put so much subconscious pressure on yourself that anytime you start talking to a guy, you're going to be like, oh my God, when I start talking to you, I literally came here, I got dressed and I put my makeup on and I put this red dress on and I put this blazer on and I did everything just so I can talk to you in this moment. And you're going to have so much pressure on you that if that guy doesn't ask you for your number in the first 50 seconds of having a conversation, you're going to be like, oh my God, maybe this guy doesn't like me. Maybe my dress isn't tight enough. Maybe my dump truck isn't big enough. And you're going to start losing your mind and you're going to throw yourself off. You're not going to be relaxed. You're going to be very anxious. You're going to start chasing those men in the conversation. And the guys are going to start feeling that anxiety from you. And they're going to be like, whoa, I came up to you because I thought you looked good, but it seems like you're on edge or something like that. We don't want you going out like that. And you're going to be on edge if you go somewhere solely to meet men. I want you to go somewhere that you're already having fun and enjoying yourself at. Because when you meet a man, you'll be so relaxed because you're in your element and you're in your environment and you feel comfortable and you feel good. So when you're having a conversation, those guys, it'll feel natural having a conversation with them, and then they'll have space to pursue you. Okay. I actually want to help you. So I don't just want to give you advice that I know when you go out and you do it, you're going to be like all nervy and you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm just doing this because Tomisin told me to do it. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why I'm here. I just got this advice from a random YouTuber and I feel like he knows what he's talking about, so I'm here. You're going to be so in your head. And it's going to come out because trust me, that energy is going to come out. That's inside you. That's going to come out. And the guys are going to receive that from you. And I know as a man, that's not going to be attractive to them. We want you in your element, relaxed, chilling, whatever your element is. Someone said, I like to go for hikes. Do that, okay? Go on trails. If there's group trails that you can go on that. Join a run club. That's a really new popular one, okay? That's actually one I can recommend to you guys. If you guys are just looking for something, you're like, Tomisin, I don't know what I want to do. If you guys like to stay in shape, even if you're not someone that really likes to run, join a run club. Run clubs are really good. If you live close to a big city, run clubs are really good. Because run clubs, a lot of people are starting to understand, hey, if I'm looking to meet single people, dating apps aren't the thing. So run clubs have become like, let's not talk about this too much. It's our little secret before they become too popular and the other dating app people infiltrate them. Run clubs are a really good one for you to go to. Someone says, I hate running. The run clubs aren't only for runners, okay? Long distance runners. Run clubs, you can walk. Run clubs, you can jog. So there's plenty of people that join run clubs and they just walk the trail or the route that everyone goes to. Trust me, the people who are actually knowing where to go, they go to run clubs. That's the new spot. Okay, let's not tell too much people about this one. Okay, I didn't want to share it with you because we don't want all the horrible garbage men going there. Okay, run clubs is a really slick one. If you search run club on TikTok in whatever city you live in, you'll see the people who are organizing the run club in your city. Trust me, hey, there's some run clubs out there, and they got some people out there. Okay, Nicole says, you means let me go up here. Let me scroll up here. Let me go to our super chat. Thank you so much to Nicole, by the way, who donates $10 in the YouTube chat. I really appreciate that. Nicole says, you mean you can't tell us where the husband store is? Joking, LOL. Thank you for sharing all of this wisdom and great information. We love you. Stay hydrated. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate you. But yeah, run clubs is actually one of the good spots. And I can be honest with you about that because it's a new spot. And I know the type of people that go to the run clubs. And it's like the new spot for people to meet more people. You can even make friends in run clubs, okay? And like I said, you don't have to be a long distance runner, okay? It benefits you in multiple ways. Of course, you're going to stay in shape by going to the run club, but every time you go to the run club, you have an opportunity to meet good people, okay? Emma says all the good ones are taken or they're swing for the other side. It's trust me, once you have that mindset that all the good ones are taking, that's exactly how your life will be, because the universe is going to show you exactly what you believe to be true. So you got to first fix your mindset if you want to see something different. If you're of the mindset that all the great men are taken, trust me, you'll only meet the garbage men. Trust me. Your universe is your genie, and your genie will always show you exactly what you ask for. If you ask the universe for a good man and you expect the universe to give you a good man, it is your genie. You rub it, and so shall it be. If you tell the universe all I get is garbage men and there's only garbage men around me and I'm never going to meet a good man, the universe is your genie, and it will give you exactly that. Nothing but garbage men. Never forget, you are in control of your reality. Okay. I know that's a little bit hippie there, but it's the honest truth, right? You never want your mindset to ruin your ability to actually get the result that you want. Okay. But yeah, run clubs are a great one. But I don't want you guys just hearing me say run club and you're like, okay, Tomisin said go sign up for a run club, so that's what I'm gonna do. I want you, rather than just signing up for a run club, do something that really interests you, okay? If it's hiking, do that. If it's painting, do something that requires a group setting for painting. If it's taekwondo, go do that. Someone said that they like karate, go do that, okay? A book club, go do that. Whatever it is that interests you, okay? Just try and find a community of people that are also interested in that you can kind of meet all the time or meet weekly or something like that. That's a good place to start, okay? Not clubs, not bars, not any of that, all right? None of that, all right? Someone said maybe I should start hanging out in Home Depot. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I guess Home Depot has a lot of good stuff. But if you're gonna hang out at Home Depot, actually have a plan though. So find something to fix in your house and then go to Home Depot to fix the thing in your house. Don't just stand there looking up at the paint colors at Home Depot being like, I can't wait till a guy comes up to me. Find something to do there that you need to go at Home Depot for. That way, in the process of you meeting people at Home Depot, you actually get something done as well. Okay, so it's like a win-win, right? Well, that's what I want for you. Right? So with that being said, let's hop into our next segment. You guys are pretty funny. Our react segment of the show. Everyone spam your headphone and camera emojis. No baby oil emojis in the chat. Okay? Camera and headphone emojis only. We're going to hop into our react segment where I will be reacting to some TikTok videos that are going up around the internet. Okay? So we're going to start off here with this video comes from, this is KB again, okay? So we'll start off with KB. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to go grab my headphones, and we're going to start off with KB here, okay? No baby oil emojis. Just headphone and cameras. We ain't filming the freak off, okay? We ain't filming that. We filming the reactions. Oh, man. Okay. All right, guys, let's hop right into this. So we start off here. So this is kind of like video inception here. I'm reacting to a video that KB is reacting to a video of Benny. So I'm sure you guys have seen Benny here on when we've been reacting to videos before, and KB as well. So this is KB's reaction to Benny's video, I guess. All right.
Means nothing. Compliments mean nothing. Attention from men means nothing. Compliments mean nothing. Likes on your story mean nothing. Ladies, these are all low level. Men would do this. I know men that do this with anything that's got a pulse. She breathes.
When he talks, does it not sound like an actor? It just reminds me of Johnny Depp. He should do some voice acting or something like that. It's like very dramatic the way he talks.
Even fantastic. Oh, girl, you look pretty. It means nothing. They do it because it's a numbers game for a lot of men out here. Not all. I'm telling you. So that when you get the attention, you must know it has no significance for you. You must know how to vet. That's why I say, without action, none of this shit means a goddamn thing.
I think this is more of just a human thing than a man thing at this point, right?
Why is KB's face always at the bottom of the video? It just, if I ever talk to him, I'm going to have to address that. It's like at the edge. It's just neck and, I don't know, man. Does he even have a body? I don't know.
Because if as a woman or as a man, right, if you're not putting any real effort in real life, we all know it takes no effort at all to like stories, to like Instagram posts, to send DMs on Instagram. I mean, people are doing this every day, you know, well, numerous people. Like, let's be real here, right? The only people that type of attention really matters to are the folks that are already attention deprived. They don't pay themselves enough attention. So anytime, even if it's a little bit of attention coming from somebody else that they might find attractive, they gonna reach. They're gonna latch onto it. Like, you will never hear a man that already knows that he got the girl and she likes him talking about some, oh my God, bro, she liked my story. Oh my goodness. He be with her in real life. He sees how she be coming in real life.
Attention from men.
Was that Netflix at the end there?
He sees how she be coming in real life.
Attention from men.
That was Netflix. Why is this Netflix firing up? Anyways, maybe he's in the middle of a session. Anyways, what KB said here is facts, in the sense that, and Benny as well, that I want you guys to understand. Don't get caught up in guys giving you like really low quality attention and thinking that that means anything, because that's one of the things that guys do. And sometimes I think that sometimes I think it's easy to get confused by the attention that's very cheap, thinking, oh, no, maybe I should hit him up because he's liking my stories, or maybe I should message him because he likes my stories. Or you're like, Tomisin, what does it mean if he likes my stories and he likes my Instagram pictures and he likes this and nothing? It means nothing. And the reason I say it means nothing is guys give that type of cheap attention away to lots of girls. In fact, lots of girls, a lot of which who they have no intention of ever dating. Right? And I know it sounds pointless and useless, but it's honestly something that guys do. And you have to recognize the difference between, this is why I say, and we have the acronym LAURA, right? To listen, observe, listen, observe, analyze, and receive. Because we want you in a state where you're always going to be gauging, what do you want? What is your interest level? How serious are you taking this? Because to be honest with you, some guys approach relationships and dating and especially attention in a way where they just give away attention just to see where it gets them. They just kind of cast a net out there and see which fish will bite. Not that you're a fish, but the analogy is what I'm trying to convey to you and help you understand. So don't be concerned about guys that will do silly things like, not message you but like your story, not message you but watch your stories, not message you but like your photos. And then you start thinking, oh, maybe he likes me. Maybe I should message him. Maybe I should go up to him and approach him. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever make that mistake of approaching a man or messaging a man first because he's liking your stories or your profile pictures or watching. Never, ever, ever, ever. It's not your job. Okay. Let's go to our next video here.
Dudes can sense when you haven't texted them and you're at peace. I feel it in my bones. I'm saying.
I mean, he's not lying. I've been told y'all that guys who aren't good for you are okay with feeding off of both negative and positive interactions from you. As long.
Come on, yo. Like, come on, yo.
As long as you're speaking to them, as long as you're not moving on, that's all that matters. So basically what that is, like, you could go months without talking to him, not saying a word. But the minute he starts feeling like, is she moving on? Like, wait, she hasn't said, like, wait, what's going on? Now they're going to say something to you. Now, the misconception is y'all believe that guys not wanting you to move on means that they have some type of plans for you or, deep down they like you. It's actually quite the opposite. Y'all ever heard the term misery loves company? Yeah. They know deep down that they will never actually settle for it, or settling for them is a lot harder. So they want to stick to what they know. Stick to who they think is that delusional. And if y'all actually go back and look at how he worded that video, you will see it's almost like a game to him. Y'all stay safe out there, man.
Dudes can sense.
I like what both of them said because it's funny how an ex of yours will always know exactly when you're moving forward, or even if it's not an ex, a guy that you have messed with will always know exactly when you're moving forward. And that's the moment that they decide to hit you up or talk to you or come back into your life, because they kind of they can feel it that you're moving forward. It's part of why, when we talk about moving on or making him regret, losing you and things like that, I always talk to you guys about anticipating the reality that as soon as you actually start doing these things the right way and being able to move forward, anticipate the fact that he's going to come to you with some sort of emergency or a situation that requires your immediate attention to pull you back in. It's not an accident or a coincidence that the emergencies only happen when you're starting to lose interest or you're actually starting to move forward with your life. Not an accident. Okay, it's not by coincidence. So I'd rather you be prepared for that, so you know that that's going to happen and anticipate that. That way, when it does happen, you're not in this shock state where you're just like, oh my God, he actually texted me and actually messaged me. It must be a sign from the stars, from the sky, from the everything that now he wants to take this serious and he wants to. No, it's not. It's just a sign that he actually senses that you're moving on. And when he senses that you're moving on, he just wants to take you back down to misery land. Don't do it. Once you see a pattern within someone and that it's not what you like and it's not what you want to build with, just move yourself on. Don't waste your time continuously. Okay? Why is this
If someone's ghosting you, boring uncle theory. If someone's disrespecting you, boring uncle theory. If somebody doesn't know whether they want to commit to you, boring uncle theory. I'll tell you what it is, but first I'll say what not to do. If you act overly emotional and you let people waste your time, which is your most precious asset, on trying to explain to them why they shouldn't have treated you that way, on trying to explain to them how you're a valuable person and they shouldn't do that to you, you're actually wasting your life. How dare you go on your boat across here when I'm trying to tell people the truth? Thank you. You don't want to do that. You also don't want to react emotionally and cry to this person and explain to them how you were abandoned in your childhood and how could they do that to you. They haven't deserved to know you like that. People don't need to be inside your solar plexus, inside your ether. Why? We don't know these people. Boring uncle theory. When you don't know how to react to somebody, imagine yourself on a Christmas dinner where your uncle is there. He's there, and he's your family member. You know him. He's not creepy. He's fine, and he's telling you some story. He's here, telling you some story. Oh yeah, and then when I finally found the wrench that I was looking for in the garage, I actually used it, but I didn't use it on the nail that I thought. And you're like, oh my God, Barry. And you want to be talking to your cousin over here because she's got some juicy gossip. So what you do to him is you react to him politely, but you're not going to give him all of your attention. You're not going to tell him how boring his story is because you don't want to, hurt his feelings. So you sometimes look over at him and you're like, oh yeah, that's nice. But you're not going to give him immediate attention. You're not going to be asking him or answering him stuff. He's there, but he's not bothering you. So if that person is ghosting you, if they're disrespecting you, don't jump to reply to their text messages. Don't be jumping through hoops for them. Just sometimes reply with a lack of emotion. Honestly, because they're a nice uncle, but they're so deeply boring. So if they're all, oh yeah, we haven't hung out for a while. I haven't contacted you. What have you been up to? What you doing? WID. You're like, reply later that evening. Not much, hope you're well. You're a boring uncle at this point. Get over it. If someone's
I think this is good advice to a certain point and extent, because after a while of them hitting you up continuously without it going nowhere, just save yourself the anxiety of wondering what you should say and what you should respond, and just not stop responding. So this is actually great advice for like the first couple of times someone ghosts, because sometimes this is what's going to happen. Guys are going to ghost you as a way to test to see what your response will be when they ghost you. So they'll kind of ghost you to basically see, oh, when I ghost you, are you going to lose your mind and start messaging me a whole bunch and start texting me a whole bunch because you want to be with me so badly? Or when I ghost you, are you just literally going to be unfazed? And then some guys realize that you're unfazed by that, and so they just stop doing it altogether. Now, after a while of this continuing to happen, this is a bigger issue that needs to be dealt with accordingly. And so what I mean by that is, after a while, you just have to say to yourself, okay, this pattern has gone on for way too long. So now when you message me again, oh, what are you doing, for the 5th time in a row after ghosting me for the 5th time in a row, you just say, enough is enough. I'm not responding to you anymore. Okay. So yes, you boring uncle theory definitely applies. You're going to ignore him and not give him any energy, but you also don't want to spend this too much time going in a hamster wheel where you're doing this, what she's talking about, the boring uncle theory, over and over and over again, but never actually saying, all right, now I'm just wasting time. Okay. You want to identify to a point where you're just wasting time and there's no more point continuing to do this. Okay. Someone says, what is this person's name? Just go over to, her name's Margarita, but go over to my YouTube channel because I'm streaming there as well as TikTok. On the YouTube stream, you can see all of the TikTokers' usernames. I have it there at the top right corner, so you guys can see that if you guys ever want access to that. All right. So if you ever guys want to know who the TikToker is, go over to the TikTok stream, okay? And you'll be able to see who the TikToker is, all right?
I just read that
YouTube stream is just my name. Just go to my name, type it in on YouTube. It's above my head on the top right of the screen, okay?
I just read that the more attractive you are, the more you struggle in relationships. So maybe you aren't like tragically single. Maybe you're just like really hot. I just read that the
I don't know who sent this to me, but this is just, I guess this is just a joke. It's funny. Ha ha he he. But I don't think that this is really correlated. Okay. I think that we can all struggle in relationships for a plethora of reasons, some of which have nothing to do with our attractiveness. Real funny though, Carissa, real funny. Okay.
Ladies, the one superpower when it comes to flirting that you guys all have and never use, especially for the men you actually like, is eye contact.
I like this. Let's see what Benny has to say. I like that. I'm an eye contact pro. You guys should know.
The one superpower when it comes to flirting that you guys all have and never use, especially for the men you actually like, is eye contact. What a superpower. You avoid eye contact with the guys you actually like, and all of a sudden you expect magic to happen. Hello. See, ladies, that is most important. Out of the proximity, eye contact, smile, eye contact being number one. And there's a way to do it. You don't pierce through his soul and stare. No. You look at him, you look down for a second, you look back up. That's the double back. That's the double trouble. That's what you do. That's called double back. Oh, he's... Yes. That's what you do. Soft eyes. You might have to even put your chin down a little bit. Not up here like this. No, put it down.
Not up here like this. Don't hold your cup and stare at him like this across the room. Please don't do that. Please.
Look. Oh, shit. Did you see what I just did to you? Did you just see what I just did to you? That's it. That's all you have to do. And a lot of you guys don't do it because you hesitate, you're nervous. I don't get it. You don't not do it and then complain about no good men approach you. Excuse you, girl. I'm sorry. I'm just getting worked up. But I would tell you, it's a powerful goddamn tool. Ladies, the ones...
Benny, very right. Benny and what's his name? Nico should collaborate. They should collaborate. They look like brothers. Okay, but yeah. What Benny says here is so facts. And I actually like how much he stressed this, because I know some of you are like, but how do I get the men I like to actually approach me? And actually what he mentioned here is something really interesting that I know happens. Because the guys that you like or think are really fine and attractive, those are like the guys you're most of the time going to be avoiding eye contact with because you think they're really attractive. But in reality, I'm telling you, and sometimes when I give you the advice, I know that it sounds so simplistic that you're like, Tomisin, it can't just be eye contact. That can't just be, there's some magic secret or magic potion that you're not telling me because you want to gatekeep. And that's the one that actually will get the men attracted to me and get them to approach me. But truthfully and honestly, when you become an eye contact pro, you'll be very good at attracting guys that you like. And okay, I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of a secret here, okay? When I stopped drinking, which was like 2.5 years ago, like for good, stopped drinking, and I actually started going out to like clubs, bars, parties, events, gatherings, sober, 100% sober. Nothing in my system, nothing, not even weed, nothing, okay? Not even a cigarette. And I'm out there at that event or that party or that gathering, sober. I got so good at recognizing the energy in the room and being able to read who was interested in me, okay? And that is actually when I started to become an eye contact pro, because when I would go out, I'd really be able to very quickly analyze by scanning the room and looking at people. I could tell by the way someone looked back at me if they were interested in me. Because I would constantly scan the room and I would always be able to see people, catch them looking at me, even if they weren't intentionally trying to catch my eye. Because as I'm scanning, the people that like me are always kind of angling themselves in my direction, kind of looking over in my vicinity and kind of checking out what's going on around me. And so I got good at being able to read that whenever I go out. So I say that to say, when you become an eye contact pro, not only will you be able to attract the men that you're attracted to with the eye contact, but also you'll get very good at being able to see which guys are interested in you. And then when you see the guys that are interested in you, the guys that you're also interested in, you'll be able to signal to them, you can come over to me with your eye contact, because that's essentially what you're going to be doing there. You're going to be looking at those guys as a way of signaling to them in a subconscious way, I actually think you're cute and interesting. If you want to approach me, you can approach me. And that's like the green light for them, because some guys might see you, think you're beautiful and stunning, but not know if you're single, or not know if you're approachable, or not know if you even like them back. And so when you do that, that eye contact is a clear signal. See, to the guys who are there in our eye contact pros as well, it's a clear signal that, oh, okay, let me go do this, okay? And I promise you, if a guy's intentional, if he likes you a lot, or he likes how you look, or, you know, he's kind of is interested in you, and you give him that eye contact, that'll be the green light that he needs to approach you, okay? Now, sometimes if you're dealing with a guy who's super shy, too shy to do anything, those soy boys don't even bother, because those soy boys, even if you give them a whole bunch of eye contact, they're probably not even going to look at you back, okay? The guys also who are confident enough to like actually hold that gaze with you as well, those are the guys who are actually probably going to approach you, okay? Trust me, when you become a pro at this, you'll go out and it'll be easy for you to do this, okay? I had to learn it, and I had to grow into it as well. It's a skill that you can learn. Once you become good at it, you'll be very happy with your results every time you go out, okay? It won't be a frustrating experience for you to go out and see guys that you're interested in, because you'll be able to attract them to you as well. Trust me. Now, obviously, like I said, you're not going to attract soy boys and shy boys who literally can't, you know, when you look at them, they're like, oh my God, please don't look at me. I don't know how to talk to girls. The guys you're going to attract are the guys who are confident enough to hold eye contact and come up to you as well, okay? Which is good. You don't want shy guys that can't talk to you, okay? All right. I love what Benny said, though.
How to make him fall for you over text.
Who sent this to me? You wanted me to get mad? Why would you send this to me?
How to make him fall for you over text. Number one, and I think this is the most important, remember that you have a life and you can't answer him too quick, or else you'll just be annoying and he'll get annoyed of it, and he'll know that you're always going to be there at his beck and call. So you have to understand that you have a life too, and you don't need to answer him all the time. And when he asks you what you're doing, you better come up with something that you're doing, because you need to have that life. He wants to be in that life with you, but he needs to know that he isn't that life that you want to live all for him.
So far, she's not made me upset. Let's see where this goes.
Two is you have to have a good conversation. You have to be happy. You want him to have an enjoyable conversation with you. Basically, in every morning text, be like, good morning, or like, have the best sleep, like whatever, before night, or just keep the entire day your happy self. Be glass half full in that conversation, because nobody wants to talk to someone that's like yapping on about how stressful their day was, especially in the beginning. Like, yeah, when you have a boyfriend and you're gonna confide in them with that, sure. But when you're trying to make someone fall for you, no, they wanna think that you are their happy place. You're that conversation that's gonna make their day, and they're gonna laugh at, they're gonna smile at their phone at.
Okay, what I'll say to number two here is I agree. Don't trauma dump on people. If I say don't trauma dump on people in person, you definitely better not trauma dump on people over text. God, if you're doing that, you need to watch every single one of my videos. You better keep me on a 24-hour loop if you're trauma dumping on guys you just met over text. Anyways, with that being said, don't trauma dump on anyone for any reason at the very beginning. It's not going to benefit you at all. Now, what she's saying about, you know, glass half full, stuff like that, I just don't think that texting is really a necessary focus that you need to be focused on, because you're not really going to gain any information from that guy over text. Like I said, use it mostly as a scheduling tool. And if you really, really need to like just spice it up and, make it interesting so that you guys can feel like you're talking somewhat, better to use pictures and videos for your communication than to be worried about sending long paragraphs to convey a feeling over text.
Number three, tease him a little bit. Banter with him, chirp him a little bit, make fun of him, make fun of little quirky things about him in a playful way. And honestly, chirp yourself a little bit, make fun of yourself, or tell him about like an embarrassing thing that happened to you, because he'll think you're hilarious and open and confident in yourself. If you can tell stories like that about yourself to somebody else, he'll be like, that's actually hilarious that you just went through that. This girl is so confident, and it's very attractive.
Do that in person. Don't tell super embarrassing stories about yourself because that can get into trauma dumping territory. But also, like, people are never really going to be able to receive your personality over text. And this is where we get into, like, what she's discussing here is create a personality for yourself over text. And then by the time he meets you, what if you're not like that? What happens then? Now your vibes are off because he thinks you have the same dry humor as him. But when he meets you, you're a shy girl who looks down and slurps spaghetti. What happens then?
And fourth, of course, everyone loves a visual. FaceTime him randomly. Randomly, when he's least expecting it, he's gonna be like, oh my gosh. And then he's gonna get little flutters because everyone that they get a random phone call or someone that they don't normally talk to or they're not that comfortable with, it's like, get something in you. It gets butterflies to your stomach or makes you a little bit nervous. And that's gonna make him nervous for you, which makes those feelings come about. So if you FaceTime him randomly, he'll be like, oh my gosh, like, I need to look good. Like, do I look okay? Like, whatever, that helps. And if you aren't comfortable with the whole FaceTime thing and you're not that confident yet, get there. But if you're not confident with it, send him random pictures of what you're doing, or like you, or be like outfit of the day, or just at a desk, like when he says, hey babe, what's up? Or you're waking up in the morning and you look cute, like whatever, take a selfie. No filters though, because we're too confident for that. It's just a random pic that you took because you want to show what you're doing. People love visuals. A picture is 1,000 words, and it tells more of a story, and it makes him feel like you're more connected to him and each other in a way, and he'll probably start doing it back. And it's like more emotional, and it makes someone want to know more about your life.
Sarah, you know, some of your videos, you say some good stuff. This was a miss here. Okay, I have to be honest. Okay, I love all the creators that we talk about on the show, and I love the creators that talk about relationships and stuff as well. This was a miss here. We all miss sometimes. This was a miss here. Okay, my advice to you. Okay, maybe I'm confused. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. Do not be randomly FaceTiming. Don't do it. The men that you want to take, if you want to FaceTime a casual friend, whatever. If this is a guy you want to take seriously and you want him to take you seriously, don't be randomly FaceTiming him at all times of the day. That's not going to end up for you how you think it's going to end up for you. Remember, we're trying to do the opposite for you. We're trying to squeeze the life out of any form of communication that isn't asking you out on a date and seeing you in person. Why? Because that is the only way that you guys are actually going to build a real relationship together. And you don't want to get him accustomed or used to the idea of being able to chit chat with you endlessly, like we just talked about today, over the phone with no actual intention of seeing you. Because some guys will do that. They'll have casual chit chat with you on and on and on and on and on, and you will never see a date of that with that man. And you'll never see an actual in-person meeting with that man. And it's just chit chat forever. Don't make it easier for him to chit chat with you forever by FaceTiming him at all times of the day.
Last but not least, of course, you have to flirt. You have to flirt a little bit, but we're not going in with the emojis right away, unless it's like, if he sends a heart, sure, send a heart back. But we are going in with the, oh my God, that's so cute. Hi, you're so cute. Or flirting in a way that it's not too much and overpowering, because someone will be like, whoa, that was way too much. I literally just started talking to you. But if you give those little flirts, and even if it's in a funny way, funnier is always better because they won't take it too seriously. But if they're complimenting you, throw one back. Be like, if he said, good morning, beautiful, or good morning, baby girl, say, good morning, handsome, or good morning, king, or whatever it is, because, you know, you want to engage, you want to spark that, and you want him to know that, like, you'll give it back, not all the time, and not much, less than he does, but you'll still give it because you're confident about that.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't bother, okay? You're better off just being mean. If a guy approaches you because he wants to get to know you, you're already at an advantage. You don't need to do anything. In fact, being mean will be a confirmation of the fact that everyone wants you and you barely even want to give him any time. Unfortunately, the world that we live in is not like a fantasy land where, you know, you meet a really nice guy and you're really sweet and nice to him and he's really sweet and nice to you. The reality of it is the guys who have goo goo gaga eyes for you and will chase you around and will, be hungry for you like a hyena, they want you to be mean to them. They want you to tell them no, and they want you to barely give them the time of day because they want to feel like they put in blood, sweat, and tears just to get access to you. Because when they finally do get you, they're so appreciative of all the work that they had to put in to get you. So actually, the thing that you're not supposed to be trying to balance is not how to make him fall for you over text. It's how to balance being mean with just being nice enough that he thinks that he's getting somewhere with you. That's all you're balancing. Truthfully. For the rest of the men who don't really have interest in you, you throw them to the wayside because you're not trying to attract or be in a relationship with those men. I know that Sarah's just trying to make a video and it's, it's not that, I'm not going to fault her for trying to do her best in the video, but I think that was a miss there. Okay. I don't think that that's really going to help, the grown folks. Okay. I know it's TikTok, but we'll say the grown folks.
Ladies, he has no time for you, okay? He's very busy and very sleepy, okay? He works 16-hour work days, okay? Does not look at his phone not one time. Not one.
Does Nico not look like he could be Benny's brother? They got to collab.
Ladies, he has no time for you, okay? He's very busy and very sleepy, okay? He works 16-hour work days, okay? Does not look at his phone not one time. Not one time. The second work is over. He grabs his phone, throws it out the window on the freeway, speeds home, gets out of his car, sprints into his house, swan dives into bed, passes out right away. It's like he was chloroformed, right to bed. There's no time for you. He goes to bed at like 6 p.m. on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and sleeps until like, I don't know, like the next Wednesday. It's the darndest thing. Ladies, he has no time.
That's pretty funny. And it's just one of those things that, see, when you're in it, I know that we talk about it in Players Club, so it's easy to laugh and be like, ha, 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 that's never going to be me. But when you like a guy and when you're invested in him and when you really want the relationship with him to work and you are frustrated with how it's going, you're going to find yourself justifying a lot of his actions and the way he treats you and his consistency because you want to believe in the idea that no, like this is my guy. Like, no, like this is going to work out. Like, no, like it's not really that he doesn't actually have interest in me because I'm fearful of the idea that I'm going to be rejected by him. It's really just because like Nico said.
Time for you, okay? He's very busy and very sleepy, okay? He works 16-hour work days, okay? Does not look at his phone not one time. Not one.
16-hour work days. He can't even his messages and emails are going so crazy he can't even see yours.
Time. The second work is over. He grabs his phone, throws it out the window on the freeway, speeds home, gets out of his car, sprints into his house, swan dives into bed, passes out right away. It's like he was chloroformed, right to bed. There's no time for you. He goes to bed at like 6 p.m. on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and sleeps until like, I don't know, like the next Wednesday. It's the dark.
So what's funny about this is what you want to avoid doing is delusioning yourself into chasing after a guy. Because these are the type of delusions that are going to play in your mind when your mind is trying to convince you that, hey, because this is what's happening. Your spirit is telling you this guy's not interested in you, or he doesn't have enough interest in you to actually build something here. Your spirit's telling you that. But your mind says, no, I can't accept what my spirit feels or my heart feels. I'm going to, rather than, accept the reality that he might not be very interested in me and I should move forward, I'm going to twist this into a different narrative that I can believe in that fits this criteria so that I can continue living in a reality where me and this guy are going to be together. So your mind twists the narrative from, oh, he's not very interested in you, which is why he's giving you all these excuses, to, oh, yeah, he really is that busy all times of the day. And he really does, dive, into his bed and never have any time to even send a single text or a single call or anything like that. Now, obviously, there's a balance to that because, yes, there are guys who actually have things to do and they can't text you every part of the day, 100%. And even some might not be able to text you they can send you a text every single day, but they might not be able to have a long text conversation with you every single day. That's not a crime. But what you should be looking out for is when you find yourself in a situation justifying the fact that he's not doing anything for you in the relationship, or he has no time for you and you're the one chasing after him. Because once that narrative starts building, you're going to act on that narrative and you're going to be trying to save the relationship until there's nothing left to save. Okay.
One day he's all over you, and the next thing you know, he disappears for days or weeks at a time. When you're together, it feels amazing and like this could really turn into something. But when you're apart, it feels like you're just not a priority. Ladies, when a man is giving you hot and cold and inconsistent energy, what it usually means is that you're on his roster. He's talking to and probably sleeping with multiple people, and chances are you're not even the number one spot on that roster. So why is
I'm 90% sure that's Toronto in the background. 90% sure.
he even doing this? What's the point? Having a situationship, especially with an amazing, loyal, loving woman like you, is literally the ideal setup for a man. You're giving him physical and emotional intimacy, probably even loyalty, aka all of the benefits of a relationship without him having to put in any of the work. On top of this, you're also giving him the freedom to go out and do whatever the heck else he wants to do, and all he has to do to keep this access to you is throw you some breadcrumbs now and then, aka just enough attention to keep you on the hook, which, let's be honest, isn't even much. And I hate to say this, but there are some men who are actually intentionally using this hot and cold behavior as a manipulation tactic just because they enjoy the feeling of having power over you. It's an ego boost and it makes them feel special knowing that you're always waiting for their attention whenever they want to give it to you and you're hoping for their commitment. If you're in a situation like this, I highly recommend emotionally detaching from this man, moving on, and pouring all of this time and energy you've been putting into him back into yourself. And remember, this has nothing to do with you or your worth and everything to do with him and his current priorities and capacity to form relationships. You are nobody's second option and you deserve so much better. I love you and follow for more tips.
What Mira, I believe, says here is very valid. And it's part of the reason why I know some of you guys get confused when you're in situations where a guy will message you out of the blue and just be like, hey, what's up? And then you'll say, hey, back. And then he just won't message you after that. And some of you get confused. You're like, wait, why does he do that? Why would a guy message me? And literally, as soon as I message him back, he just doesn't even bother to message me after that. Like, why would he just go ghost after that? Why even message me in the first place? Because a lot of those guys that do that are only doing that for the sole purpose of being able to recognize their power over you and that it still exists. And the fact that if they do hit you up or they do message you, that you will immediately drop everything that you're doing and message him back. Or just the simple fact that you're still available to him to message and talk to if need be. And so sometimes guys don't even need to sleep with you to be able to feel that power over you. Sometimes they just need to be able to acknowledge that if they were to reach out to you after a period of time, you message them back because you're happy to talk to them and you're happy to see what's up with them also. And that's the ego boost that they need. That's all that they need. Okay. So with that being said, let's hop into our last segment of the day. The show always flies by so fast. All right, guys. Do you know what time it is? If you're a regular here, you should know what time it is. Can you tell me in the chat what time it is? If you're new here, you're probably confused. You're probably looking at the clock. You're probably looking at your watch. You're probably looking at your phone. Or you're probably looking somewhere in your home. I can assure you, it's nowhere there. It's a very special time. It's a time that's going to make you laugh and cry. It's going to water up your eyes. It's an amazing time, a special time. And if you don't know what time it is, I'll tell you. Time. Okay, chat. let's hop into our Discord here, where for those of you who are unfamiliar, let's get serious, okay? Our Discord time is essentially where all the amazing members of the Players Club get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship or situationship in the chat here, and I answer it live on the show. What just happened here? Where did my... okay. And I answer it live on the show. So you have multiple ways of sending in your question. You can either send it into our regular relationship advice, which is our free section, and you do that just by going into the link in my bio if you're on TikTok, or the link in my description on YouTube. You click where it says relationship advice question, and then you can fill out your question, and I answer it on a first come, first serve basis. So I have other questions to answer. So if you ask yours today, it's going to take me a few weeks to get to yours in the free section, because I have to answer some that are, 30 days old in the free section. So if you are impatient and you're like, Tomisin, I'm not going to wait, a couple of weeks to get my question answered. I want an answer now. That's perfectly fine. If you're impatient, you have another option here, which is our relationship advice premium section that we use to give you the option to skip the line if you want, because I go through the premium questions first before I go to the free section. So the way that you get a premium question in is simply by donating to the show. Now, you donate to the show by going to the link in my link in my bio on TikTok, or the link in my description. You click where it says premium relationship advice. You donate to the show through that link. You got to donate to the show through that link. So that way I can keep track of it. All right. I don't want you guys donating for a Discord question through any other ways. Okay. Just that way it keeps it organized for me and everyone else. And that way, when I go on my phone, I can see your notification, and I can, when you send in your donation, you're also going to be prompted to put in your title of your question and your Discord username. That way I can look on my phone and verify that that's you. That way random people don't get the option to just throw in their question in premium and they're not actually donating to the show. I like to keep it fair for everyone. And so when you guys donate, I want you guys to actually get that first come, answers, right? And be able to skip that line because you actually did that. Okay. Keep it fair. Now, if you don't want your relationship information on Front Street, but you still want to get my advice on a situation, you also have the option to send in a private question by going to the same link in the bio on TikTok or link in the description on YouTube. And when you do that, you'll be able to ask me a direct question via our private link. And I say it's just my private link, and it only goes to me, and I respond to your question when you submit it through your email, and I send you a voice message in return. Okay. So you have many options there. Let me acknowledge Cece Does Life, who donated $10 in our YouTube chat. She says, at the very beginning, should we ever text first? Should we communicate every day? And how long do we give him to ask us out on a date before cutting him off? Love you, Tomisin. Thank you for all you do. At the very beginning, I just don't think it's necessary to be the one texting him. Okay, to be honest with you, simply because if you're thinking about it from the standpoint of the guys that you're texting should have come up to you. I'm hoping they did. I'm hoping you don't go up to guys. They come up to you. Of course, there's a process. They're interested in you. You like them too. They ask for your number. Then just let it be on him, right? Let him do the pursuing so that you can start gauging what his interest level is. The problem with doing all that work at the beginning is you're not able to gauge the guy's level of interest. And so you can end up going out on a date with the guy that you're only on this date with because you texted him, messaged him, and asked him out on this date. So you don't really know if he's even interested in you. So you could be spending all this time with him and on him, and then only to realize down the line that if you weren't doing the texting, you weren't doing the messaging and the planning of the date, then he wouldn't even be talking to you. Now, as it relates to texting someone every day, I don't think that it's super necessary at the very beginning, simply because when you're an adult, you have things to do. And so sometimes it's not going to be feasible to be texting someone you just met every single day. But of course, that doesn't excuse the idea that, hey, we can still be planning to see each other later in the week, even if we don't text every single day of the week when we just met. Okay. So the expectation doesn't need to be we text every single day, but there should be some sort of plan forward to okay, we went on one date. I love the time that we spent. Could we figure out a day that we can spend, go out on a date again? And that should be really really what the gist of the talk is for the first couple of dates, up until you guys build enough rapport that you guys can be texting every day. I think even texting every day can be something that's warmed up to. It doesn't have to happen right away, okay, guys? And not that everything has to happen in the first 30 seconds, right? And so that is perfectly fine. But you don't want to put yourself in a situation, like you said, where you're wasting time. And I usually like to give you guys the hard, fast cutoff of 2 weeks. If you're not getting any texts or messages or any sort of like, let's go out here or let's actually see each other in person in 2 weeks time of just texting back and forth, just cut it off, because at that point you're wasting time. Okay, let's hop into our first premium question here, which comes from Matcha like tea. This was okay. Yeah, no, we didn't. Wait, let me make sure, cause. Okay, yeah, we'll do matcha. Sorry, I just had to make sure that I answer this one. Okay, Matcha says, update, Matcha needs help. I'm 26, asked around 2 months ago about a guy I was seeing. Let's call him guy number one. In essence, he turned out to be a D. Lesson learned. And now I am completely single again. Okay. I was seeing this other guy, let's call him guy number two, around the same time I was seeing guy number one in the beginning. I made a mistake in choosing guy number one and blocked guy number two. Guy number two was great. We went on a few dates. He respected my boundaries, was giving me princess treatment, and never did anything pineapple related. Since I blocked him, it's been around 2 months, my question is, should I unblock him and contact guy number two again, or leave him in the past? Not even sure how he's going to react to being blocked. We had a great few dates, and then I blocked him, LOL. Not sure what I should do here. Should I even contact him? And if so, am I able to explain what happened? I do regret blocking guy number two, and now I want to explore that option further. Confused, not sure what I should do. Help, please. Thank you kindly. Okay, so the first thing I want you to understand and answer for yourself is, you had guy number one. Why did you, and this is not to diss you, but you have to learn from situations in order to not make the same mistakes. Why did you have essentially both options and choose guy number one over guy number two? Because what you described here is he gave you princess treatment and he treated you well and he respected your boundaries. So what made you choose guy number one? And let's figure out why you were not able to have the correct judgment and picking the right guy from the start. Because that's also concerning to me, Matcha. This is not to diss you, but if you have the option of both and you're able to acknowledge how amazing guy number two is, but you still pick guy number one, well, now there's an issue of, why is your judgment that poor? And we need to figure out why you're not capable of analyzing situations and judging guys appropriately to understand which one is the best option. Obviously, we all make mistakes, but that can also work against you and be to your detriment in the future if you don't understand how to fix that or work on that. Because your judgment shouldn't be so poor that an amazing guy who treats you well is the guy that you block, and the guy who's a D is the guy that you actually, end up taking and end up with. Right. And I get he probably wasn't a D at the very beginning, but this also leads to like your ability to judge situations and guys past just what they tell you. So I say that to say, Matcha, you should answer that question for yourself first, so that you know what you need to adjust in your analyzation of men that you meet and you date, so that you know you don't make the same mistake over and over again. Right now, as it relates to guy number two, I would advise for you to just unblock him. Okay. If guy number two likes you that much, he will notice that you've unblocked him. He'll see you again if he checks your stuff, and he'll message you. Here's the thing. And this is honestly, this is where I just have to be real with you from a guy's perspective, so that you don't take my advice and then be like, oh, Tomisin, well, he didn't treat me that way. Here's the thing. When a guy tries for you and you pick someone else over him, you have to understand that's painful. So I'm not saying he'll do this, but I just want you to understand, sometimes when you don't choose that guy, you make the mistake, and then you double back on him as a second choice, can hurt and damage a guy's ego. Unfortunately, what happens is some guys will take you back and you're thinking it's all gravy and all good because you now get the guy who's going to treat you well. And some of the chat knows where I'm going with this. He'll take you back and then he'll ruin your life as a payback for what you did to him. And he's not going to take you seriously, and he's not going to build with you, and he's not going to do any of the things that he was planning to do with you before because you essentially made him like a second option and you spit in his face when he put himself out there for you. I'm not saying that you're a bad person because you chose another guy over him. I just want you to understand from his perspective, that's painful. And you also have to understand that if you are going to reach out to him and just assume that he wants to be with you still, or that he'll, treat you the same way that he did before when you've kind of damaged his ego like this, don't make that assumption. Because sometimes guys will take you out and they'll be looking to hurt you the same way that they've been hurt. I'm not saying that he would ever do that. I don't know him to be capable of doing that, but I just want you to know that that is a possibility. So I think better than you reaching out to him would be to just not say anything and see if he reaches out to you. Because what you want to do is you want to gauge if he's still interested enough in you that he wants to be pursuing you. Because when you started off from the aspect of, oh, my bad for blocking you, I want to date you now and I think you're interesting, now you're kind of the one doing the pursuing, right? And he gets to sit back and relax and say, oh, so you see the mistake you made. Oh, so you see how much of a D guy number one was. And so now the balance of power is really in his control because you've acknowledged I made a mistake. You're also acknowledging I don't have anyone else in my life because guy number one is gone. And now you're acknowledging that I'm reaching out to you because I really want you and you specifically. It's a lot of power now that he's yielding, that he can choose to do whatever he wants with that power. I'm not saying this to scare you, Matcha. I'm just saying this to help you understand when you make your decision, you're making a decision. So unfortunately, life doesn't work where you can make a decision and then, a couple months down the line be like, oh, that was the wrong decision and just go back and make the other decision. There are consequences to your decisions. So unfortunately, depending on this guy and how he feels about what you did and how he feels about being, not chosen by you, he might be hurt by that. And his hurt ego from that situation and being chose second might affect the way he treats you now, unfortunately. And so Matcha, for your future, if he doesn't hit you up and he doesn't, ever message you again, I want you to start thinking about how can I get good at analyzing guys so that I don't fall victim to thinking another guy is great only for him to be a dick and then miss out on the guys who are actually great. Okay? Right? I just have to be honest with you because if I were to advise you, oh, hit him up, everything's going to be A-okay and all right, I'd be lying to you. Because some guys they're going to hold that pain and they're going to want you to feel that pain also, especially when they get chosen second like that, right? Especially when not only did they get chosen second, they got blocked and discarded of. And then now that you realize that wasn't the right decision, you're coming back like, oh, never mind now. Actually, I do want to give you the time of day. It can be very painful for guys. And so sometimes they're going to want to give you that pain back, unfortunately. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Next we have here, this one comes from Milana, okay? So Milana says, does he like me? Milana says, hey, Thompson, I need your advice. I'm 19 and met this guy who's 22 on New Year's in a club in my home country. While I was over for Christmas, for the sake of the story, I'll call him Liam. We don't talk much, as his friend was mostly trying to... Wait, what? His friend was mostly trying to talk to me, but I was uninterested. Anyways, me and the Liam guy bumped into each other while exiting the club. My friends had just left to go to the bathroom, so it was just me and him next to each other at the cloakroom. Is that what you guys call? I think you might say the coat room? Cloakroom? What? To cut a long story short, I didn't have enough hands to juggle all my stuff and put my coat on, so being the girl boss I am, I turned to him and said, just hold this, and handed him my handbag. I put my coat on to see him wearing my bag and smiling. I thanked him and started to exit, and then he handed me his phone with his Instagram search open, so we exchanged Instagrams. How romantic. Anyways, I flew home and we had texted a little back and forth, and we couldn't meet before I left due to having schedules that clashed. He works in the Army, teaches kids sports and studies in university, and also is a pro athlete. Damn, you do everything. So this didn't bug me. We didn't text consistently, but this didn't really bother me as I didn't know him all that well. But over time, he would start randomly dropping in my DM and more just asking about how things were going when I was coming back to my home country, and would like every one of my IG stories and occasionally reply complimenting me. Eventually, he texted me again asking when I was coming back and saying he wanted to see me. I had given him the month, but not the exact date, and just randomly posted a story showing I was back with a location, to which he replied to me if I wanted to hang out on Saturday with him and some friends I met on New Year's Eve. And I responded, I'll think about it. Friday rolls around and he's texting me asking me if I'm coming because he can arrange for someone to pick me up. We live an hour away from each other. As he lives in my town, as his friend lives in my town, I end up agreeing to get picked up by his friend. We arrive at Liam's house, and that's where he was hosting. He came and gave me a hug and took the shopping bag I had with snacks in for me. Cultural thing. We sit outside. There's about 5 guys and one other girl. His cousin also met her on New Year's Eve. Liam was sat on the opposite side of the table and kept staring and smiling at me. When I look away, he would keep trying to get into my field of vision. Later, I end up staying basically because the driver who brought me decided to have a few beers, which I reluctantly agreed on, but Liam told us we'd be more than welcome. Stayed in separate rooms. Anyways, at one point, this is making me nervous already. It's making me nervous. Me and him just had a chat in his room, and he said he couldn't believe I had actually come and how good it was. And it would be ideal if I could just live in his town. Then he said, I have really pretty eyes. After this, we briefly spoke about reading and our future career goals, and then I went to bed in the other room. I woke up in the morning. Liam had gone to train kids sports in the garden as he does it as a side hustle. So I made the bed and stayed in and went to freshen up in the bathroom, which is directly opposite the kitchen, and saw my driver and Liam's mom once I left the bathroom. Liam's mom invited me to sit, made me coffee, and had served a very generous amount of food. We chatted for a bit about my job, and then the guy who drove me back asked, should we get a move on? While smiling at me, he had been overly friendly the entire Saturday, pouring my drinks, bringing my bag for me, and just overly interested in my personal life. Hadn't even finished my coffee yet. Obviously, I can't say no. He's my way home, so we had to say goodbye to Liam. Liam's mom follows us and gives us some of her fresh fruit from her garden to take for the journey. I start saying goodbye to Liam when his friend, the driver, looks at me and says, on second thought, why don't you just stay? Liam's driving to your town later anyway, so he can drop you later on. I look at Liam and his mom, and they both nod and agree. Liam's mom says no bother at all. I ended up staying for lunch while Liam kept training, meaning I had sat with both of his parents at a dinner table chatting for a good few hours, getting to know them. Liam finished training and asked what we spoke about, to which his dad responded, "Well, we're going to marry you off. You'll either have to move to her or she comes back here. How long can you be single for?" Besides, I want grandkids, not kids. He just laughed and sat to eat. Later, his parents say they're going out. They come and hug me and say it was nice to meet me, and the mom says I should come round again and asked how long I am staying for. Then it's just me and him. And I asked him why there was a few times where he wouldn't reply to my messages for a while, to which he said, "I prefer face to face. You can't interpret tone over messages." This guy's good. He made me a hot drink, even though I said I was okay, and said he'd make sure to make it extra sweet. We sat outside talking, and he said, "So we both read then. Guess I'll have to take you as a wife." After a while, he ended up opening up about his childhood, and then ended up saying, "Wow, I don't know why I just opened up that much. I feel kind of odd now." After this, he told me I should join him and his friends out in my town. I said I wouldn't want to interrupt, to which he said I wouldn't be. We left back to my hometown, and when we arrived to the food place, and Liam boasted to his friends about how his parents said that they want us to get married, and then would stare at me after, just be very touchy in general. After this, we went for a walk, and he dropped back from his friends, and he put his arm on my shoulder and said, "Me and you, I think, would be a good couple," and then put up a hand heart and said, "This would be us." To which I just laughed. Anyways, we got back to the car park, and he says I should sit in the back, as I'll be dropped off first anyways. I didn't argue, and I sat in the back. Anyways, we arrived to my house, and he puts his hand over the seat and says, "Well, see you later." Like, didn't even get out of the car. Maybe these were friends he wasn't comfortable with. I didn't shake his hand, got out of the car, and slammed the door. He texted me apologizing after saying, "I don't know why you're mad, but I'm sorry." I said, "You couldn't get out of the car to say goodbye?" And he replied, "I'm sorry, seriously." And anyways, I ghosted his message after. He replied to my story again a few days later. We texted a bit back and forth, but he seemed slightly more passive aggressive. He ended up leaving me undelivered for a couple of days and viewed my story, so I blocked him. But I literally like this guy so much. Please tell me. please tell me, is this salvageable? So sorry for the long read. Love your show, by the way. Okay, I'm not laughing at you, but Milana, okay. I didn't even realize, guys, that she said 19. You guys should have told. Now I see why this message was like this. It's not a diss, Milana. But let's answer your question since we're already here. Here's the thing. I know you had a great time with him, but what just happened there was like a combination of love bombing from both him and his parents, okay? I'm going to keep this very simple for you. I get that they talked to you for a bit and they liked you for a bit, but it's very strange to, like, I don't even want to blame Liam, because I actually think the strangeness he has with you, he gets it from his parents. Because it's very strange for parents. First of all, the whole story you were telling about going over to his place, I thought you were telling that like that was a grown man's place. I didn't realize that the place he was inviting you over to sleep at his place was his parents' place. That's already strange in itself for, him to be allowing random strangers to sleep in the house there. Maybe that's some white people stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's like regular for some other people. Anyways, them coming back to the house, meeting you for the first time, sitting down with dinner with you at, when they don't know you from a can of paint and you don't even live in the city. They've never met you before. They don't even know you as one of his friends. They have dinner with you and then they start talking to you about marrying their son. It makes me feel like, like a horror movie. When I was reading this, the reason I was reading it slow is because it felt like a horror movie. I don't know many parents that act like that. It's very strange. I know they might just be being nice. Someone said they sound African. No African parents are going to come home to their house to meet strangers and automatically sit down and have dinner with them. I don't know what type of African, the type of African I am, I'm Nigerian. My Nigerian parents are not going to, be like, oh, random strangers at the house, random woman at the house with my son. Let's sit down and have dinner with random woman at our house. Okay. Just not a thing. And maybe I'm a different type of Nigerian. I don't know. And so I just say that to say that was already strange behavior in itself. And everything about this situation just honestly kind of makes me a little bit uncomfortable because I just don't feel like, the way that they were going about this was, I get that he thinks you're cute and he wants to get to know you, but I just think that the way things were going was not on a timeline that's, like what regular people would be doing. I get, obviously you guys didn't plan this, but I just think that a lot of the behavior here was very strange. I know that you like the guy, but honestly, you had, I don't want to burst your bubble, but you had like one good solid chat with him. And yes, I'm sure you guys, had some good chat and you felt like you got to know him a little bit more. But to be honest with you, having one solid chat with the guy and then talking to his parents still doesn't mean that you really know that guy. He could be capable of anything. And like you just saw, in an instant, he can be drastically different in a way that you don't recognize, right? He was putting hand hearts to you. Okay, this is the Gen Z hand heart. He was giving you hand hearts, halfway through the time you were spending with him. And then the other time you were confused because you're like, oh, you didn't even get out of the car. These are part of the things that you have to understand you're confused by because you don't know him. So you're building an idea of him, but you don't actually know the real him. And... Someone says plot twist, he hired his parents. Honestly, the whole story makes me feel uncomfortable. And I actually wouldn't advise you to go back and do that again. Okay. So the next time you go, don't sleep over. And, especially when after you meet him, you have this kind of like, cold distance, he's not talking to you anymore type of thing. I wouldn't spend too much of your time thinking about what's next here because I'm not going to advise you to send him a message. I'm not going to advise you to do anything crazy like, call him or FaceTime him or show up at his door. So there's really not anything left for you to do. If he doesn't find you interesting enough that he wants to continue this, then you have to kind of let that go because I just don't think that thinking about what you can say or do now is going to put you in a better position, especially since you already blocked him. So what are you going to do now? Unblock him and say, I'm sorry for blocking you and I like you so much? I think the ship has sailed. And I think that interaction maybe it didn't make you as uncomfortable as it was for me reading this. But I think that while you might have had a good time with him, I just don't see this going anywhere, especially because you don't live in his town. I know you have some friends there and you hang out there, but you don't live in his town, and you're 19, so you don't have any intentions, I'm sure, in the near future of moving to his town. He's 22. I'm sure he doesn't have any intentions of moving to your town. It's part of the reason why I don't, not that you're a bad person, Milana, but usually when you're under the age of 20, there's just not much you can do. And there's not much flexibility. He still lives with his parents, right? You're 19, obviously you still live with your parents. Like, you guys are in no position to really be having the money to be traveling back and forth all the time and seeing each other all the time. So realistically, are you going to build a long distance relationship, when you guys don't even have enough money to support yourselves individually? Probably not. Let's just be for real. So I actually think you blocked him. Leave it where it is. If you want, the most you can do is unblock him. If he decides to message you, he does. But other than that, don't do anything. There's nothing left for you to do. Okay. Next we have here. So I actually already, Kendra's is a follow-up, and Kendra was just clearing some things up for me of questions that I had in her last question. So I'm going to respond to Kendra on my own time. So don't think I'm skipping Kendra. I am going to answer Kendra, but it's a follow-up. And if you haven't read yesterday's message, you guys will be confused anyways. So let's go up onto Sis' question here. Sis says, check up on what I'm doing. So Sis says, hey, Tomisin, it's Anna. Okay. Oh, yeah. Anna changed her name to Sis. I told him I'm not going to tell people I have a boyfriend until I have one, and he kept calling me his girlfriend. So I told him, is that your way of asking me out? And he said, of course, he's not going to ask what? At a random restaurant, and that he wants to ask me in a cute way and plan a surprise. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So I'm pretty sure he's going to ask me out soon on our next date on Friday, but he also said that when I'm his girlfriend, he'd like my location, not for toxic purposes, just to make sure I'm safe and that I could have his as well. If that's okay with you, then you can give him your location. That's a preference thing, okay? I said that's too much. Okay, so you don't like that. And he said all his friends also have his location and he has theirs, just to make sure everyone is safe. Do you think it would be fine to share location? I don't want him to know I'm lifeless and am at home all day studying, and I don't know what excuse to give him about not sharing my location. It'll seem sus. At the same time, I'd like to share location so I can have his, so I'm fine with either. I would advise you to do whatever you feel comfortable with. Sharing location is not a deal breaker, and it's not something that you can still have a great relationship if you share location or if you don't. So I say that to say, you decide for yourself what you feel the most comfortable with. If you are thinking to yourself, I really don't like the idea of doing it, then don't do it. If you say to yourself, I have no problem with doing it, then do it. This is one where I know you want my advice, but this is really about what you want and feel comfortable with. I'm not going to tell you don't do it or do it based on what I want for you or think is right. That's a preference, okay? So whatever you guys feel works for you in your relationship, that's your preference you should go with. Also, when he uses hearts, etc. via text and says he misses me a lot, is it okay to reciprocate and do the same? I mean, of course. I mean, you guys have been building something here. You can send him hearts back and things like that. You don't have to be like, now we're getting to a place for you where this has been going on for months now. And there's obviously like even though you guys aren't exclusive, like he's consistent with you. So you can, you don't want to overdo it, but of course you can be nicer. Okay, you gotta overdo it though. I do miss him as well between dates, but I try not to show it, but I do reciprocate when he says something. Is it okay that during our 3 dates per week, we see each other around 4 to 5 hours? I try to end a date in 2 hours, but for example, he takes me out to dinner after work or helps me with my studies or the gym, and it ends up being around a 4 to 5 hour date. I don't know if that's too much. I make sure to keep it at 3 days maximum though. I would say I get it, since you guys have been going out for a longer period of time now, that the dates are going to go longer. I just, I really, because the thing about it is, once you go from 2 hours to 4 hours to 5 hours, that easily turns into the whole day. Not saying that it's bad to every once in a while spend a long period of time with a guy who's going to be your boyfriend in probably the next week or so. But just keep that in mind, that you don't want to keep extending and extending and extending time to the point where now you're together every single day. Okay. You just don't want it to become an every single day type of thing, 24 hours a day, because you're not there yet. Okay. Even if he becomes your boyfriend, you're not there yet. When he asked me to be his girlfriend, I can see him a bit more and can do more than kissing. Of course. I mean, he's your boyfriend now. The war is essentially, well, not over, but you have kind of like, you're where you need to be to relax a little bit when he is he's actually shown you commitment and asked you to be his girlfriend, okay? Because he's shown you that commitment for a consistent amount of time, and obviously he's very intentional about being with you. So now you can start opening up, understand what I mean? Now you can start, trauma dumping if you want. This is your person to confide in and talk to about your emotions and stuff like that. You understand? Because now you can actually trust him that he'll be there for you and not just be, turned off because, you talk to him about how you feel about things, or you trauma dump on him, right? I think I shouldn't, because even if he asked me to be his girlfriend, I would have been dating him for only a bit over 2 months. Okay. Which is too early. Don't you agree? But I shouldn't, but shouldn't I also show him he gets a bit more from asking me to be his girlfriend? Okay. So this is what I'm going to address for you, Anna. If him asking you to be his girlfriend still feels like it's too early for you guys to be sleeping together or doing stuff together, then you're not yet ready to be his girlfriend. Okay. When he asks you to be his girlfriend and you agree, it should be because you're ready to take that next step. Because it's not really going to make sense that you're ready to be his girlfriend, but then you're like the intimacy part you're not ready for. Because then that means that things are moving too fast. Are you following what I'm saying? So if you feel like if he asked you to be his girlfriend tomorrow, you wouldn't feel comfortable like jumping into like that deep intimacy past kissing, you should probably say, I'm not ready yet for that step. Okay? He's going to be perfectly fine. He'll wait. He'll be fine with it. But I think it's better for you to do that, because if you say you're ready to be his girlfriend, but internally you're not really ready, then you're going to be very confused and he's going to be very confused and everyone's going to be very confused. So it's better for you to be honest. Also, for the following thing, he said he has followed people before. Oh, you mean like following people on IG? He's followed people before, but doesn't pay attention to if they follow him back or not. If he does notice they didn't follow him back, he unfollows. Should I drop it then? I obviously don't feel comfortable with him following these women that he followed years ago, but then don't follow him back. But I can't just be like, I stalked you and went through your following. Why don't you unfollow these women? It's giving fan behavior. I just seem so crazy, so I don't think I have a choice but to accept it and stop stalking him so I don't get jealous at his following. F that though, because imagine how embarrassing it would be if one of those girls saw me and was bragging about how he follows her and she doesn't follow him back. I think I'd probably tell him if that ever happens, I feel like he'd unfollow them all and I wouldn't feel embarrassed. Okay. Also, one more thing. He's been asking me, what's the secret to me texting him? Wait, what? He's been asking me what's the secret to me texting him back more. And I said, I don't know. He said, yes, I do, because I know myself. And I said, don't know. And that I'm not on my phone a lot. Did I handle that correctly? Should I text him a bit more when I'm his girlfriend? No, honestly keep everything the same. Okay. At the end of the day, being a great texter, it doesn't make you a better girlfriend, truthfully and honestly. Okay. Text him just enough that you guys can still have your relationship. Anything more than that is unnecessary. Right. When you're talking about being embarrassed about, the following and stuff like that, of course you can feed him hints, but you don't want to be like, hey, go unfollow all those girls and da-da-da. At a certain point, you are going to have to say to yourself, like, what is the ROI on this? Like, when I say ROI, I just mean like, okay, him following girls, does that mean you're having a worse relationship because of that? Not necessarily. And now you have to start analyzing the whole situation. How does he treat me? Is that him following girls? Is he messaging them? These are the type of things you want to start getting an understanding of. And what is he doing with this following? And if he's not doing anything with it and he's not messaging them and it just sits there because he doesn't check Instagram or whatever, he doesn't keep up with it, then you have to start asking yourself, what is this actually hurting? Okay. Is it just me just because I want everything to be perfect? Right. Because obviously, even when you date someone, they can treat you amazing, but they're not going to be a perfect human being. Okay. So just remember that and ask yourself if this is something that's literally like a deal breaker for you, or if there's something that is not really like that big a deal in the big scheme of things. Okay. The next thing here, you ask, also, please let me tell me if I should stop doing this. But when he asked me if guys have been approaching me and I say yes, but I'm dry with them, he is happy about it. And I ask him the same, and he tells me he doesn't go out anywhere when I'm not there. I don't tell him to go out. I'm just happy about it. I know I should encourage him to go out, but he's handsome and rich, so I prefer him staying home. Also, he said that we are going to Sephora, and I heard it as he is going to Sephora, and I told him, of course, girls are going to approach him there. And then he told me I heard him wrong and that we are going to Sephora. So I was happy, but I don't think I should act all possessive and jealous like I have been. And like I said, those things are lightheartedly. But do you think he knows I care too much? He acts very caring and protective over me. I just don't know if it's okay to reciprocate. I mean, you can be you and be honest to you. But I do think you want to kind of like, you don't need to encourage him or discourage him from going out. Let him go out as much as is honest and regular to him, and let him spend time with his friends as much as is honest and regular to him. Like, don't be so pressed about trying to, control the narrative or like change him into doing one thing or the other. Okay. And then the second thing with the Sephora, like, okay, nothing wrong with being protective or possessive over your man. But like there's a balance there, okay? You getting jealous or worked up over your guy going to Sephora because girls would approach him in Sephora, like, let's be for real, okay? Unless your man is like, looking crazy good, out of this world good, like girls aren't going to be approaching him at Sephora left and right. Like, let's be for real, okay? And even then, if you're the queen doesn't concern herself with peasants. You see how obsessed with you that he's been so far? You just keep it that way. And you don't concern yourself with the fact that other random, other random girls approach him at Sephora, so what? Is he going to abandon his life with you or the possibility of being with you to be with a random girl he meets at Sephora? No. Like, you have to kind of approach your relationship with him as I am the best thing you can actually get. So I'm not concerned if you go to Sephora and you see some cute girls. So if you lose your opportunity with me, you're the one that's going to cry yourself to sleep, not me. And so you really have to think of it like that. And not that you can't show that you care or anything like that, but like there's a line there. Like I said, your man going to Sephora, that's not something you're supposed to be losing your marbles over, because that kind of shows him that you're insecure rather than you're being protective. Okay. Remember, the queen does not concern herself with peasants. Okay, so what the peasants are doing doesn't concern the queen, because the queen has much bigger fish to fry. She cannot be bothered to know or care what the peasants are doing. So the same way, you don't compare yourself to the regular girls and random girls that he's going to meet at Sephora. Okay, no diss to anyone that goes to Sephora, but you don't compare yourself or be concerned about the girls he's going to meet there, because that doesn't concern you. You're the girl he's worshiping. So keep it that way. Don't make it seem as if you're sitting here worried about the girls he's going to meet at Sephora as if you're on the same level as them. You got to keep a separation between you and all the other girls in his life. That way he understands you can go to Sephora if you like to go to Sephora. I don't care. Because if you make a mistake and mess up your opportunity with me, that's going to be your loss. That doesn't make me lose sleep. That's going to make you lose sleep. And you have to approach it that way. That way you continue getting that type of a princess treatment from him. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I think I answered all your questions as they were being asked. I hope that makes sense to you, Anna. Okay. Let's do, we got some time. Let's do one question from our free section here, so that you guys don't think I'm trying to skip out on the free section. Okay. We'll start off with 7714. Okay. 70, 14. Okay. I'm a lady, age 30 plus, not in a relationship. There's this friend I like lately. He flirts with me. He gives me random respectful comments, such as I'm intelligent, kind, and industrious. Okay. But he's in a committed relationship. Stop right there. Stop it right there. Anytime, let's go on. Let's see what you have to say. Let's see how you're going to explain this away. He keeps hinting to me how soon he wants to marry. Don't understand what he's up to. Is he treating me just as a friend, or is he picking up some admiration for me? What about the girl he's committed to? Much as I like him, I'm a lady who carries myself with dignity and respect and boundaries. I want to respect his current status, and I'm treating him as a friend, nothing more. Ignore everything that he says to you. Okay? Ignore everything. Don't spend any time thinking about it. Don't spend any time pondering about it. Don't spend any time questioning it. It's a waste of your time. This man that's in a committed relationship, that's about to get married, is not going to abandon his marriage for you. Despite anything he will tell you or make you feel or convince you, he will never do that. Okay? If he was really liking you that much, then he would be reconsidering getting married, which he's not. Don't worry about him flirting with you. Don't worry about him complimenting you. Don't worry about him being nice to you, holding out your chair, or doing anything. Don't waste your time. Don't, even if he really does like you, it's a waste of your time to be worried about a married man or a guy who's about to get married, simply because you're only going to end up being the one who loses. You're going to spend all this time worried about what he's doing and if he likes you and what he wants to do with you. And at a certain point, you're going to realize he's just wasting your time, and he's still building with his wife or soon to be wife. It's just a complete waste of your time. I want you to invest this time and energy into you or into a guy who's not married. Don't be worried. Chat and everyone else, and those of you who might be in a similar situation where you're trying to figure out what's going on with a married man or a guy who has a girlfriend, you will always be confused when you're messing with a guy with a girlfriend or that's married. Why? Because he has a girlfriend or a wife that is his main priority. So you're never going to feel like a priority. You're always going to feel like you're playing second fiddle. You're always going to feel like you're confused. You're always going to feel like you don't know what's going on. You want to know why? Because he's got a lot going on outside of you. You never win in a situation like that. There is no win for you there. Your best, thing you can get out of a situation like that is to be a side chick. Is that what you want? To be a side chick? Don't waste your time on married men or men in committed relationships. They will talk you in circles about how they're about to end their relationship or just about to do this, or they're so unhappy, or they want to be with you and they want to, they would rather be with you and they'd rather you be the wife. It's a waste of your time. They're not going to break up with their girlfriend. They're not going to end the relationship. They're not going to divorce. They're just going to keep staying in the same situation while having you on the side. Don't waste your time. Okay? So I hope that's the show for today. I hope you guys got some value out of that. If you guys have any questions for me that you want answered ASAP, you go over to the relationship premium section or and ask your question there, or you go over into our private relationship advice section and ask me your question there if you want it to be private. You get those access to those by the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. Okay? For those of you who are wanting to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is at the top left of the screen here, just Tomisin_Atub, if those of you that want to follow me on Instagram. And it's also on the bottom right of the screen here for those of you who want to follow me on Instagram if you're on YouTube, okay? And for those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch parts of the show because you missed parts or you came late, you can always rewatch parts of the show on my YouTube, which is Tomisin Atobatele. Just type it in on YouTube. And Liz said he sent D pics and videos to me, so I deleted it all. Nah, that's crazy. You gotta send that in the Discord. You gotta tell that story in the Discord. Anyways, yeah, for those of you who want to rewatch the show, go onto my YouTube channel and then you click on the live section of my YouTube channel and you'll be able to see this live stream along with all the other live streams since the beginning of time. And the best part is you'll have the YouTube and the TikTok live chat embedded in the video so that you won't miss a second of conversation that we have here. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until we meet again, goodbye for now. Arrivederci. It'll be tomorrow when we meet again. Okay, it won't be that long. Arrivederci. Hasta la vista. Adios. Sayonara. Salam. Ciao. Bon voyage. And I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you.